LJ Molina, as always. Marco Polo today. We got a few interesting things to talk about today. I just had my fantasy draft, so that's going to be something crazy to talk about. That draft really went unexpected. A lot of crazy picks, and I'm going to be sharing a lot of that. So we got a few topics to talk about with basketball today, a few signings, just some minor signings, Joel Embiid's extension, Marcus Smart extension, and the Summer League Championship as well.
Okay.
So we can basically hop right into it. So let's talk a little bit about Joel Embiid's extension first.
Okay. Yeah.
So Joel Embiid just signed an extension. And if you guys don't know who Joel Embiid is, he is on the Philadelphia 76ers. He's their superstar center, all-star.
Definitely a top 3 center after what he just did in the playoffs.
MVP candidate as well. And he's been having some pretty big seasons lately. I'd say over the last 3 to 4 years, he's become a very big presence on that team. And he's starting to really just show what he's been made of and why he was such a high pick in the draft initially, what he wasn't able to show earlier in his career.
He definitely led that team throughout the playoffs this past season. I mean, Tobias Harris definitely did his thing, but when it came down to it over the consistency and him just going through the injury that he went through, dude, he was so nasty.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was surprised that the Hawks beat them in 7, but Embiid,
that was a good series.
He's a top 3 easy, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge fan of Embiid, Wasn't he an MVP candidate this past year? So it was him, Jokic, and Steph.
Yeah,
they were the MVP candidates.
And he didn't play enough games. That's why he wasn't compared to Jokic as much, because he had missed a significant amount of games compared to Jokic. I think Jokic played almost in all the games this past season.
Yeah, so it's pretty awesome to see him get a huge extension. It was a supermax. You see these supermaxes. I think the only other player to get a supermax extension has been Steph Curry, now on his second supermax extension.
Wow. What's a supermax extension?
So a supermax extension, you have your max extensions, which are usually maybe somewhere around 4 years. Like a max extension is basically around 35 to 45 million a year. And then
now he's been being 50 plus. Oh, wait, you're saying regular max.
Yeah, super maxes are like 48 to 50, 52 million a year.
Bro, it's almost reaching 60, to be honest.
It's huge.
So LeBron has a super max deal too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's on I think he did do
it was like a 205 or some shit like that.
Nah, I think it was his original deal was I think 4 years, 160 million something.
Really?
But I don't know if he signed an extension since then. I don't think he has. But Joel Embiid, he just signed for 4 years, 196 million. So that is $49 million. $49 million a year on the extension itself. So he's not exactly getting that much a year. It usually spaces out differently. They usually get the most in their last contract year.
Well, depending. Honestly, because it could be the first year, it could be the last year.
Yeah.
So is Joel a superstar, right?
Joel,
Consider him a superstar, right?
No doubt.
Like Curry and stuff like that?
No doubt.
He's a center, so he's 7 foot. He's a big man, so he's a very intriguing player to me. He can shoot the deep ball pretty well. He's pretty quick on his feet on the defensive side of the floor. It's kind of impressive actually, because he's really big and it's pretty impressive how quick he can move, how he's able to keep up with even some of these smaller forwards and be able to keep up with a lot of the top guys in the league. It's really just made him a top guy in the league too.
Yeah. So he ranked in 2K, just real quick, the top 8 for 2K22 that's coming out. You got LeBron at 96, KD at 96, Giannis at 96, Curry at 96. So no 99s, which is very surprising. Nobody over 97 actually. So that's pretty surprising. So you have Embiid at 95, along with Kawhi, Jokic, and then they have Luka Doncic at 94. So honestly, that's so surprising because it feels like every 2K game has always had a 99 overall player.
Yep.
But getting back on that, I definitely feel like him, Jokic, a defensive player like Rudy Gobert is definitely one of the best centers in the league. And then you got upcoming players like DeAndre Ayton.
I love DeAndre Ayton, man. A lot of upcoming big men in this league. And it's pretty exciting to see because you literally just seen, like, when's the last time we've seen 2 centers in the MVP race for top 3?
Right?
That's pretty crazy.
Well, this was the last time the center has won since Shaq and what,
Yeah.
2001?
It was
Or was it
early, yeah,
2000?
2001 or 2000. It was one or the other, I'm pretty sure, because it was a while ago. It's not usual that a center wins MVP. You know, it's either a forward or a point guard most of the time.
So why did the big men fall out before?
I just feel like that didn't necessarily fall out, but big men are just now starting to evolve more. So
Yeah.
back then, it was very role based back then, like more role based than it is now. And what I mean by that is like in the 90s and the early 2000s, it's really more of fundamentals before it started to become as flashy or as player based on one player.
Highlighted.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
one player on your team carrying you as much. So back then, like the role of a big man or a center was more to get rebounds and to be able to get alley oops or be able to defend well. But now you got these big men like Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, who were both in the MVP race. You know, they're able to shoot now. Big men are getting a lot quicker, and mind you, these guys are 6'11", 7 foot,
Yeah.
as big as a lot of these other, as big as Shaq and his height, and they're just able to do so much as in a way that a point guard could. As a point guard being 6'3" or 6 foot, being able to handle the ball well, and you're seeing these centers starting to learn how to handle the ball, how to make plays, how to get people open, like just get their team more involved. And it's crazy to see from a center, somebody that's usually the main defender on your team, just facilitating the floor.
I mean, especially Jokic, dude. His passing ability is ridiculous. He's definitely like a point guard out there. I mean, he could play point guard, honestly. He was like he was on the Hornets.
Yeah.
put him at point guard with LaMelo. That should be funny.
That would be that would be crazy.
So what you're saying
actually,
is that Giannis has a hard season next season.
I don't think he'd have a hard season, but because Giannis is like a hybrid forward. Like he can play small forward or power forward, but he can also keep up with the centers because he's
big
what,
as fuck.
6'10",
And
I think.
He's very agile for a clumsy motherfucker.
And he's had one of the craziest body transformations.
Oh my
Actually,
gosh.
it's been like I saw this post on Instagram and it showed the two craziest body formations for like notable players, and it was Joel Embiid and Giannis.
Wow.
Like I don't know if you saw what like Joel Embiid has only been playing basketball. I think he's been playing for basketball for less than 10 years of his life.
Yeah, I think he's only like 7 or 8 or something like that.
And he's been an MVP candidate. When he first started playing, he was skinny like a twig. You know, even skinnier than us.
Yeah.
And now he's huge. And you see Giannis even come into the league. He was like more raw muscle. Like you could see, like he was kind of shredded, but he was skinny. And now Giannis is just a fucking unit. He's huge.
Dude, Giannis is literally a Greek freak, bro. I love his nickname.
Yeah.
Like, and honestly, to answer your question, I think that Giannis needs to adapt again. You know,
he might have to.
That MVP season that he won, it seemed like his 3-point percentage was about to start going up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it seemed like he was going out to range and he started to make shots.
These playoffs, he shot a lot of threes.
Yeah.
He shot a lot of threes and he missed a lot of threes. It was really like air balls, just wide open. So like,
but his percentage wasn't that off though.
His free throw percentage wasn't off. I think his 3-point percentage was fucking terrible.
Oh really?
You know what I would do if I was Giannis? Because you know they're gonna do this countdown shit again with the free throws.
Bro, I've already been telling you that. You gotta go into the gym this season.
You gotta get it on the loudspeakers. 1, 2, 3, and he's gotta learn how to. I would even get a few of the teammates to mix in with the loudspeaker,
or just get the fans from the.
Does he have kids?
He's got
brothers.
I
think he has a kid.
I think he has one kid now.
If he has a kid or brothers, I promise you, right now they're doing that to him in everything.
Yep.
Giannis, eat your food. 1, 2. Oh yeah, bro. I will do that.
Yeah, so he can get adjusted to that because that was to some people that was really his biggest flaw in the playoffs.
Yo, really?
He missed so many damn free throws because he was letting the pressure of other people's thoughts, basically. Like at the end of the day, it's like other people's thoughts and him not being able to take the pressure.
Except
so that's why they put the pressure on him. Even his own fan base does it.
Yeah.
It's like what the hell is it really even about? Because you see it's fucking him up. So even for his own fan base to do it, it's like what, like come on, what the hell? So he really needs to get out of that slump, because I wouldn't expect any less going into this season. You know, they have a summer to get prepared for this upcoming season. The summer league just ended, which we'll talk about that championship a little bit.
Dude, if we want to see a new dynasty team that's gonna repeat, it's definitely the Bucks.
Nah.
Like right now, it's definitely it's gonna be the Lakers if they win this year, but it's most definitely right now it's the Bucks. With those three being there until 2023, 2024,
Yeah,
they have all the chemistry, they have all the experience to go right back and do it again. Especially because they don't have to face the Lakers in the West; they can meet them in the finals.
and that would be a crazy finals.
I think the Bucks are the equivalent to the Pistons to the Chicago Bulls.
I see that. But who are the Bucks? Are the Bucks the Pistons to the Lakers currently? Yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Like if everything goes out like how I told you with that Space Jam effect, bro, the Bucks will go down as the new Pistons.
I like that. I honestly like that. Yeah.
I mean, those Isaiah Thomas, we can't throw no shade on none of those Pistons players because those were all fucking
bad motherfuckers, man.
Champions, bro.
The bad boy Pistons. They had that name for a reason.
For real.
They had that name for a reason.
Beastie, bro.
They've always been a ruthless team, man. I mean, even the whole Malice in the Palace. And I would love to talk about that sometime. With the Pacers and the Pistons getting into it.
Yeah. I remember you just watched that documentary.
Yeah. Yep. They had a documentary about it on Netflix now. It's about 1 hour and 10 minutes long. And basically, if you guys don't know what the Malice in the Palace is, I'll just say it real quick. It was back in 2004, I believe, the year that the Pistons had Reggie Wallace, Ben Wallace, Rip Hamilton, not Tarion Prince. Who was that? Something Prince. I forget his first name. The Prince guy. You know what I'm talking about? The light-skinned guy. So then the Pacers had Jermaine O'Neal, who had the best year. That was his career year in 2004. And then Reggie Miller and Ron Artest, who was currently in therapy while that was all going on, and his therapist was actually giving him methods to learn how to deal with the shit during all like situations like that. But it just got out of hand. It was a huge fight, probably the most notorious NBA fight ever. I would love to get into that more one time.
But no doubt, man.
I love that comparison though of the Pistons.
I definitely see it. Like if it could happen, I mean, whatever Landon says is true because he's always right about these shits apparently. Because he has the fucking guy, he has the NBA commissioner in his fucking pocket.
One thing we can't take away from the East though is we can't forget about the Nets. So they just signed KD. As I mentioned it was either the last pod or the pod before. KD just signed a Supermax extension.
Yep. And
they're already talking about signing extensions with James Harden and Kyrie Irving
before training camp.
So if they're able to ink extensions that are most likely going to be 4+ years with each of them, that's going to be crazy to have that 3 for like. When's the last time we've seen a team have a solid big 3 like that for multiple years? Because the only team I can think is the Miami Heat.
That was the last. The Golden State.
Well, yeah,
they had it for.
Golden
State. They had
KD
for 3 years.
Was it 3? Yeah.
Yeah, they had KD for 3 years because they won the 2 rings and then they lost against. KD got injured. They lost against Toronto.
They lost 3. But yeah, I could definitely. But even so, I still think. How long was the Heat's? More than 3.
Miami had 4 years together. They had LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade for all 4 years.
So 2010 through 2014,
pay cuts, right? For them to keep it.
I believe they did take some type of pay cuts because
there was no way.
Obviously, it was LeBron who was the main piece that they were trying to keep happy.
Yeah,
but
so they were definitely cutting off other people.
Yeah, for sure. I miss that team, man. Just being a Heat fan, it's nice to reminisce on that.
That was 2010 to 2014, right?
I feel like you're right. I would say so because I remember we won the championship in 2012. We won it in 2013. Yeah, because we lost in 2011 against the Mavs, won it in 2012 against the Thunder, won it in 2013 against the Spurs, and then lost it in 2014 against the Spurs. So we went to the finals all 4 years while we had that big 3, which is ridiculous.
And I say the Bucks because, just like you said, I feel like a lot of teams go back to back. You just had the Warriors do it. I mean, recently, you had it all scattered around because LeBron kept skipping teams. So you had Cleveland, then you had fucking the Heat, then you had Toronto. So like, I just feel like there's this repeat, especially with these big three for the Bucks. It's just they're for sure gonna go back. Like, who's gonna beat them out the East besides maybe the Sixers or maybe the Nets? Like, that's it. That's really the only competition.
You know, it's actually also funny you made that comparison with the Bulls and Pistons because they say that Middleton is like the Pippen to Giannis. Chris
Really?
Middleton, yeah, they're saying like he's basically like his 1-2 punch like Pippen and Jordan were. So I don't really know who Drew Holiday would be though. He couldn't be Dennis Rodman, obviously, because he's a point guard. Let's say Steve Kerr.
Yeah, I was just about to say Steve Kerr. I was like, yo, let's just give it to him.
Like it, right?
Steve Kerr was cool.
That's funny, right? Steve Kerr. But yeah, I mean this year is going to be very interesting for the NBA. It's going to be a tough competition in the East. I think the real big two who it's going to be tough between, as I was saying, is the Bucks and the Nets, just because they got the star power. But then you can't sleep on teams at all like the Sixers,
Hawks.
Like the Hawks. That's basically the main four right there. And even when we were all making our predictions a few episodes back, it was basically the same like four, the same top teams that we were all thinking. So, and then the Sixers with all the rumors of them trading Ben Simmons, he could go to Golden State, he could go to this team, to that team. The rumors change every day, so we'll see exactly what happens with that. But they're going to get some decent return for him. So, I mean, either way, they're still going to be competing. And then Joel Embiid being an MVP candidate, Harris being kind of a stretch forward, two-way stretch forward. So
I like that team. I like. It's not Mann. I'm pretty sure Terrence Mann's on the Clippers. They have another young guy. I forget his name. He had like
Tyrese Maxey. Is it Maxey?
Is it Maxey?
Hold on. Yeah.
Maxey? Yeah, it is Maxey.
Yep,
You're right.
He was the guy who was doing good in the summer league this past year. Yeah, Tyrese Maxey.
I'm pretty sure he had like 32 points in some playoff game this past season. So
yeah,
I mean, that's just another player that can really step up and be somebody for the team. And then not to mention they signed Andre Drummond.
Yep. How could I forget about? I keep forgetting about that. I keep saying, wow, I forgot they signed Andre Drummond. They signed him to a minimum deal, and you got Andre Drummond, who was always one of the top rebounders and blockers when he was on the Pistons.
Yeah.
And now you're gonna have that with you're gonna have that next to Joel Embiid.
That's insane.
He's gonna be coming off the bench behind Joel Embiid.
I honestly think they should start him at center, move Embiid to power forward, move Harris to small forward, and then trade Simmons for a shooting guard or point guard.
They're talking about trying to get Lillard, but I honestly don't know if the Trailblazers would be intrigued enough. I feel like they would have to do like Tyrese Maxey and Ben Simmons possibly.
Yeah.
Or maybe Ben Simmons, a first round pick. And like
you're definitely gonna have to give more return for Lillard.
Yeah, for sure. But so it'll be interesting to see how the Sixers really move forward because their guard position has been a little shaky throughout the years. You know, for the past, I believe, 2 to 3 years, besides this past year, he went to the Pacers, but it's been TJ McConnell.
Holy shit, yeah.
So he was on the Pacers this past year, but like before that, it was TJ McConnell who was their point guard. So they didn't really have anybody special.
No way.
I know they had George Hill for a little bit.
Wait, this past year he was on the Sixers.
Who?
McConnell.
Nah, he was on the Pacers, I'm pretty sure.
Nah, he was on the Sixers.
You sure?
So like I'm pretty sure he started his career on the Pacers. He went to the Sixers, and then he just now re-signed with the Pacers on a 4-year deal.
Let me check.
And the only reason I noticed...
Nah, he was on the Pacers the past 2 years, actually, 2019 and 2020.
Wow, it's been that long? So he re-signed with the Pacers.
We're tripping, yeah. Nah, he started his career in 2015, 2016, 2017, and 2018 on
with
Philadelphia.
Philly.
Thank you.
So I had it backwards.
Yep. So now he's on the...
The only reason that I've ever looked him up is because he's like 6'1", he's white, and he's averaged over 2 steals in a season. Like, that's pretty crazy.
So, from what I'm seeing, he's been nothing crazy so far, but he actually did just come off a career year. So this is the most points he's ever averaged. He averaged 8.6 points on 26 minutes and 56% shooting with 7 assists as well and 4 rebounds. So that's pretty decent. and he's never really been too much of a huge presence on Philadelphia, but it seems like the Pacers may be starting to welcome him into that backcourt a little more because they did just lose Victor Oladipo a little while ago, so that was a star player they were kind of leaning on that didn't necessarily work out for them. They've just lost a lot of star players over the years that didn't really work with the Pacers, so it also kind of makes you wonder what the Pacers are going to do this year. If I was them, I'd look into trading Miles Turner. Maybe try to just revamp the whole team. See if you can get some draft picks, or like a rebuild kind of.
Do they still have Sabonis?
I believe so.
I'll trade both of them away. Honestly, just restart.
Yeah.
You're not going anywhere with those two.
Exactly, because it's like that's your front court, and that's basically all you got. And I can't even believe Sabonis is a 2-time All-Star.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
No disrespect to either of those players. Miles Turner could go to, I'm trying to think. He'd go to Toronto and be great because we need a center.
Yeah.
He could go to the Mavericks and be nice.
The Mavericks, that would be crazy. Anybody that's just paired up, any solid player that you can get right now to pair up with Luka is going to be a really good opportunity.
No fucking doubt.
Because Luka himself is a unit. And Luka himself can carry the Mavericks, but he just can't. He's not there yet to where he can carry them enough to a championship. Like, he's just not. He's amazing. He's one of the best players in the league, but it's hard
to single-handedly do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really hard.
He needs some help, and I know they do have Kristaps Porzingis, and if you guys don't know who Porzingis is, he started his career off on the Knicks.
My boy.
Who? The 4th pick? Or was it the 3rd?
I don't remember.
It was like the third pick in the draft.
This guy's from
He's not even from America.
He's
What
some fucking
the
white
fuck?
guy from Latvia. What the fuck is Latvia?
Yo, we could have taken this guy fucking next year.
I'm like, do y'all realize this man's 7'3" and can shoot threes? And can fucking like bust a move to get to the paint, bro?
Like people forget, bro, when Porzingis left New York, bro, we felt disrespected. But we understood because of what happened with Melo. We're like, damn, bro. But that shit hurt us, bro.
Yeah.
Because Porzingis was our fucking man.
Melo and Porzingis were looking good together for a minute, but then like Melo leaving, and then just the uncertainty of the franchise,
It just shook everything, bro. Melo leaving caused a series of unfortunate events, and
But
I'm not mad at Melo for leaving.
It helped your foundation.
I can't believe he's gone. I can't believe he's gone from the Knicks to the Lakers.
Why not, bro?
He's played on both sides,
bro. At this point, bro, Melo, just get your ring, bro, and get out. Finally get your ring, and please just retire.
Facts.
Nigga, like,
I feel like that's why he's still playing. Like, sometimes I'm really like, yo, like, Melo can still ball, yeah.
You gotta remember, this nigga
Like,
took a year off, bro.
Melo, yeah.
And
He
he has a hard time adjusting, too, to the new way of basketball. He doesn't like that shit.
Exactly.
He's mad stubborn. That's the only thing I get mad at Melo about. Like, bro, just, like, bend a little bit, bro.
Yeah. Like he is a very stiff player. He's
stubborn. He's a New Yorker, bro. He's stubborn as fuck, bro. I'm gonna do this shit my way. Suck my dick. It doesn't fucking matter, bro. Your shit's whack. This is what the fuck the streets do, bro.
Yeah, like he's very locked in on his skill set.
And he's nasty. Like, to me, bro,
though, yeah.
In our generation, Melo is our Iverson.
You think?
I will say that. I'll say that proudly.
Like a player who had some shine and wasn't able to really make anything too much out of it, but had multiple All-Star appearances. I could see that. That's not a bad comparison.
That's so funny. Together. That's so funny because they played together. Yeah.
On the Nuggets, yeah, they played together on the Nuggets.
That was literally my favorite team.
That team was disgusting.
That was my favorite team ever. They had J.R. Smith. They had.
They still had the older jerseys back then.
They had the Birdman.
Those baby blue Nuggets jerseys. I miss those. Bro.
Yeah, I'm definitely locking that answer in now. Like, I definitely say that.
I like that. Man,
I love you, Melo. If you ever hear this, there's no hate, bro.
We love you, bro. I'm a huge fan of you.
He was my favorite player when he was on the Nuggets.
He was nasty on the Nuggets.
I got a fucking Knicks jersey of fucking Melo.
I feel like the Nuggets just take something out of certain players, man. You see J.R. Smith was a fucking savage when he was on the Nuggets.
Yeah, bro.
Now I gotta get a Melo jersey.
Bro, I wasn't even a fucking Knicks fan. I just got the Melo jersey.
I'd get the Melo T-shirt, honestly. I don't know about the jersey just because I'm not a Lakers fan, but I'll get a little Melo T-shirt jersey. Why not? So, yeah, I mean,
What other extensions were there?
there was one more extension. There was one more extension with Marcus Smart.
Yeah.
And that was the 4 years for $77 million. So Marcus Smart is what, 27 or 28 now?
It's a great fucking sign. I'm pretty sure he's 27.
Yeah, so Marcus Smart is only 27 years old, and he's going to be probably he's going to be 31 by the time this deal's over, and we don't know what will happen. They got him for a pretty cheap deal. You know, if you think about it, Marcus Smart is still young and he's very solid, and with this extension, he's getting paid less than $20 million a year on this extension.
He's a great.
It depends on the player, because you can have players who are either one and dones, they have a really good year when they're like age 27, 26 or some shit, and then they're just mediocre from there.
Yeah.
Some players, you know, like maybe, like I could see honestly, like Luka at age 30 balling the fuck out because he's already had his few years and he's at that midpoint.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I got my few years of experience.
Yeah.
I've been on a team where I'm not really having the success that I want initially or not yet. And I'm finally on the level where I have enough experience in the league. A lot more of the old heads are retired now. And I'm going to be considered an old, you know, like you're starting to be considered an old head. Like he's going to start taking charge of the league eventually.
Yeah.
So players like him, I mean, even like maybe Jokic and Embiid as well, players like that might find a prime around that age, 30 to 31. Even if they might think it's right now. I mean, some of these players are balling out. But they could be balling out for years. I mean, look at LeBron when he was that age.
Yeah.
LeBron was balling the fuck out.
For sure.
That was Cleveland, right?
Well, that was fucking 7 years ago. 6 years ago.
Shit.
He's 37 now. I mean, it was kind of when he first went back to Cleveland.
Yeah.
Because I believe he was like,
yeah,
he went to the Heat when he was like 26 or 25 or something. He was young when he went to the Heat.
I forgot that LeBron started mad young in the
yeah.
18.
Holy shit, this nigga got mad years in this.
Yeah.
Who's the
Crazy.
longest NBA player?
Vince Carter.
How long?
21 years.
Yeah, 21 years, yeah.
No, 22.
LeBron is on how many years right now?
LeBron,
He's about to reach 20, I think.
because he started when he was 18, right?
He got drafted in he got drafted in 03.
So he's going on 19 years in the 19th season. Yeah, because he's on his 19th shoe.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, that's
He
crazy,
definitely
man.
he will
He's been with
definitely
Nike the whole time too.
He will most definitely be the longest player to be in the league.
Yeah. So real quick, talking about Marcus Smart's extension. So it's pretty crazy. You know, we have two extensions that are pretty significant right now, and then both of them being 4 years and being damn near $120 million apart. You know?
Yeah.
It's just crazy to see. I mean, I know they're completely on two different tiers of talent, but it's just crazy to think like these players are just like 4 years, $196 million
Compared to that 77.
compared
I mean,
to
that's
77.
a huge difference.
It's like that's why you just invest into yourself as much as you can when you're in the NBA. Don't shorthand yourself. Don't say, "Oh, I'm content with the 77 million." It's like, bro, you see how much more you could be making though with the same amount of years.
Yo,
like, just
for
apply
real.
yourself for real. Show them you're not playing. Like, I really feel like Marcus Smart could be a star.
I feel like Marcus Smart definitely could have got more money if he left. But
Yeah.
I think he really wanted to stay with Boston because he likes the team. He likes Tatum. He likes Brown around him.
He likes the environment.
Yeah. And I honestly really like Smart. I've always liked him in 2K. I've always liked him in real life. I've always wanted him to go to the Raptors. I've always wanted him to go to a contending team because I just feel like Boston is just so trash, man. Like, I hate to say that because they used to be so good. Like,
I think he's a good fit for Boston.
Brad
too.
Stevens, I just don't understand his plan. Like,
I don't understand his plan either. He changes it every single damn year, it seems like.
Dude, his inbound plays, all of those plays of, like, inbounding is obviously when the person is taking the ball in, whether it's on that side of the court or the other side of the court, he draws up a play where it just works, where motion's being set, screens are being set, and it just leaves the player wide open or it leaves it right to the basket, and it's just so amazing. And I know he's a great coach, but I agree with you. It seems like he changes up his plan every year. Like he doesn't know how to have a set thing. So him moving to, I don't know what he is now. He's no longer the head coach, but he's still part of the Celtics.
You know what I feel like it is? I feel like they don't have enough of a solid veteran mind on their team. So I feel like even if a person like Chris Paul went to that team, he could make them a contender.
Dude, if Chris Paul went to that team, I think they'd win the finals.
I don't know about all
with that set.
I don't know about all that,
bro.
All right, in my
they
opinion,
already have a little small three, and then you add Chris Paul.
In my opinion, it's just that, obviously Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are both kind of stars in the making still, and they're both very solid. 20+ point per game scorers. They're getting a good amount of rebounds and assists, but I don't think they have enough veteran minds on that team, or enough of a basically enough of a veteran mind to be able to win or get far enough.
They tried with
Brad
Kyrie.
Stevens just gets all these like he switches up the roster every year. Even with, like, for example, Enes Kanter, this is like the second time he's been on the team now.
Yeah.
And they keep the two, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and they're still kind of young. Like, Jaylen Brown's a little getting older now, but Jason Tatum is going into his third or fourth year.
Yeah, I think it's his fourth.
I think it's going into his fourth year. Yeah. So he's still learning. He's showed a lot of promise that he could be a superstar, but I just don't think they're strong enough yet. I think they've gotten weaker. Because, like a few years ago, they were first to second to third seed, and now they were like sixth or seventh this year, or fifth or sixth. They were something high up, but like they were nowhere near what they usually look like in the playoffs. So they just didn't compete as well.
I mean, ever since they had Kyrie, bro, I just feel like that really fucked everything up. Whatever they were trying to build, whatever chemistry they were trying to really get going, Kyrie fucked all of that up. And, like, not to throw any shade to Kyrie, but when that left, they added fucking Kemba.
Yep.
And then Kemba wasn't
paid the
enough.
fuck out of Kemba.
So now you're looking at Dennis Schroeder, who we could honestly talk about, or we did talk about, I think.
Oh yes, I did just remember. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit, but yeah, I did just remember he went to that team. But yeah, that's going to be a decent fit, because Dennis Schroeder. The thing I like about Dennis Schroeder is
this is prove it year, no doubt.
He's a pretty solid scorer. Like, I don't really know about his ball vision. I mean, his court vision or anything like that. I mean, I think it could still be developing, but then I think that's why they got guys like Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, who are a little bit better at that. But it's like how we were both saying, how his game plan switches up so much for the Celtics. It's just kind of like, what are you going to try? Like, it seems like he's just trying different shit every year to see what best complements Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work, he tries a new game plan next year, gets new types of free agents to see if they can fit around the two that they're trying to make a foundation around.
Yep.
If that doesn't work, so on and so forth. But
I honestly think they can do it. Like, they have the solid pieces there, the three. Like, Marcus Smart's definitely part of that three. He's been there just as long as Jaylen Brown.
Yep.
So I just think those three, and then you add someone like Paul, or you add someone like, I don't even know, man. I don't even know who's the free agents next season. Who they could add.
Yeah, we'd have to look, because I think a lot of these guys that are top guys in the league are starting to, like, ink some deals.
Yeah.
I was thinking, I haven't looked at it, but I think LeBron, maybe not this upcoming year, but I think maybe the year after, he's supposed to be a free agent soon. I don't know if he's going to possibly. Oh, yeah, he had a 2-year extension for $85 million in December.
Yeah.
I didn't remember that, actually. So that's considered a supermax. It's just a short one, though. So that's a $42.5 million extension right there, which is pretty good. So, yeah, he's still in contract for 2 more years then. So he'll be a free agent in 2023. So he'll probably retire on the Lakers.
No.
Or maybe he'll do a little one-day contract with the Cavaliers or some shit, or maybe a final ride.
Do you think – I don't think that'll be it at 2023, do you?
What, him? For him?
Yeah.
Nah, I don't think so. I think he's going to try to ride it out as much as he can because of who he is.
Oh, yeah.
He don't gotta necessarily be in contention to win a ring every year up until he's 45 years old. Like, this isn't Tom Brady we're talking about. Like, this
he needs to win another one, though.
He does need to win another one. And I think this year is going to be his best his best chance to before he retires. Maybe next year too.
This is his final chance for a three-peat.
But like, you got a big. He's not gonna get a three-peat.
You don't think he gets the three-peat?
You think he's gonna get 3 more championships?
Yep.
Bro, I'm a huge LeBron fan, and I can't even comfortably say that.
Bro, there's a Space Jam here.
Oh, jeez.
Bro, this
Oh,
team,
he's going off of Space Jam.
Westbrook, LeBron, and AD.
Yes, but it's not guaranteed they're going to keep them all 3 years. You see how much Westbrook's been moving around.
Okay, so you got 2 years minimum.
They're both becoming old veterans, and
what about back to back?
Work out, if it doesn't work out for one of the years, God forbid, and then they want to.
If it doesn't work out this year, then it's done.
Bro,
I'll tell you that right now. So it all relies on this year.
Really
and
does.
If they run it this year, I'm telling you, they're running it back to back. And I guarantee you, they're gonna work out some contract shit.
Oh yeah.
And they're gonna
This is
run
my
back
thing.
to a
This is
three-peat.
my thing. Every time LeBron wins a ring, the league goes Thanos mode.
No,
and they
but
start
so
gathering
does
all
LeBron.
the jewels to, or whatever the hell you know what I'm talking about, to
That's
create a
fine,
super
bro,
team
but that's
to
all-
beat LeBron.
That's all part of LeBron's story, bro. That's
It
all part
is,
of his
yeah.
Last Dance documentary,
Bro,
bro.
You're right.
But he's gonna do it, bro. They
I
have
hope
the
so.
teams, bro.
I love that team
Like
this year.
honestly, this is my favorite team out of all the teams he's had. Honestly, like over the Heat, I really love Westbrook, LeBron, and AD, and I haven't even seen them play together.
It's honestly his most strong big three.
Yeah,
Because like Dwayne Wade was like coming towards the end of his prime when that was like those final 4 years that he was with Bron was the final 4 years where Dwayne Wade was really like Dwayne Wade. You know what I'm saying? So he was balling the fuck out. He was still like Dwayne Wade looked young. Like he was doing.
Yeah, he really did.
He was doing 360 fucking dunks. He was doing all these crazy movements after he was scoring and all this shit. He was looking young, man. He was throwing oops to Bron. They were looking like they were the hottest thing out of Miami, and I mean they basically were. But they just looked fresh. Like they just looked like
they really did, man.
Looked like some young kids in Miami, but they were damn near 30 years old. I mean, Dwayne Wade was breaking 30.
Yeah.
Nigga, they did the fucking Harlem Shake.
Yeah, with Birdman.
Yeah.
I remember that with Chris Anderson.
Oh my gosh.
Fucking Birdman. Man covered in tattoos with a huge ass mohawk.
Yep.
Did the Harlem Shake in the championship locker room.
Yeah.
They had the championship banner on the floor.
So fucking,
Yeah.
I was like, bro, now you telling me he was 30, bro? You telling me I was watching that ass a 30-year-old man
Yeah,
and
man.
another 30-year-old man dance, and I thought that shit was cool.
Chris Anderson was like 35.
Oh
Chris
my
Anderson
God.
was old, bro. Udonis Haslem was like 34 or something.
Yo, how long? Yo, no wonder this nigga's hairline's faded, bro. He's old as fuck.
Yo, for real.
Yeah, bro. Look, what, LeBron?
Yeah.
He's 37 years old, bro. Yeah, that's just nuts. That's why I'm saying, like, do we really think he can win 3 more rings?
Yes, man.
Nigga.
LeBron has not
Bro,
shown.
you have to understand why it's so important for LeBron to get a 3-peat, bro. If he doesn't get a 3-peat, bro, then he's not on the Mount Rushmore.
He's not a GOAT.
He's not Kobe. He's not Mike. He
needs a 3-peat.
No longer.
Yeah.
He needs.
You're
that.
right. He needs the 3-peat.
Space Jam helped him. I'm telling you.
Space Jam gave him secret powers to get
Bro,
the fucking
just
3-peat.
like how Michael used Space Jam to spy on all the players of the next generation.
Yeah.
You're telling me that LeBron James didn't put up some cockamamie idea on how to make sure that he can actually prevail the next few years? It gotta be, bro. He can't be stupid.
You're right. You're right. I mean, if there's one thing that I was even talking about LJ before, how he's pretty good at doing this, but it's just too frequent. He's always building a new team every single year, it seems like.
No, it's just every time he loses.
Nah, bro.
That's
it's
really
like
what it is.
It's even every year though. I mean, even when they fucking lost to even when they beat the Heat last year and LeBron got another ring. I mean, most of their team was a free agent. And then, I mean, most of the team was free agents. Then they got more free agents, more one-year deals, more player options, declining this player option, letting Montrezl Harrell go, just...
That is true. But
they
had
are
5 players.
Like, they're always at least getting, like, any team LeBron's on is getting 6 new players at least every year, it seems like 5 to 6 new players on the roster. Like,
wow.
This year, I mean, you saw, like, they had 5 players on the roster when they got Westbrook, and then the same day they had 13 at the end of the day.
Wow. Yeah, that's
Or
what I'm saying. Like,
it was the next day.
You had 5 players. You completely dismantled the team. And you're talking what?
Who
was still on the
agents.
team? There was somebody that wasn't even like notable that was on it. So it was really like 4 players. So like
yeah, exactly. Like it was literally Marc Gasol.
Yeah.
Marc Gasol, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Westbrook, and then someone else. Caruso.
No,
went to
it
the
wasn't
Bulls.
even Westbrook yet.
No, that was when Westbrook got added. I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
So and then they had some other dude, but they just I don't remember who it was. It was some no name like you were talking about.
Yeah.
But they just got young. They just got a bunch of veterans. The thing is, they're a very old team.
Bro,
they
Kendrick
got like
Nunn, though.
They got like 3 or 4 people over 35. Trevor Ariza is 35. Melo's 36. I think the same. He's either 36. He's either a year
he's 37.
Under LeBron.
He's 37.
So he's the same year.
Yeah.
He's the same age as LeBron. Yeah, I figured. So he's the same age as LeBron, but then they're able to sign good and promising young pieces. Malik Monk, he started his career on the Hornets, and he's never been anything too flashy or too special, but he's a solid young player that LeBron could definitely bring out his potential, or Westbrook could definitely bring out his potential. Kendrick Nunn taking the pay cut to be able to compete for a championship, 2-year deal.
That's why I think they can run it back to back.
Because if, like you were saying, if they can maybe start him at shooting guard or point guard, and then I don't think Westbrook could be a shooting guard, honestly.
I mean, Malik Monk coming off the bench would be nice for shooting guard.
Yeah. I'm saying, man, like he's
Ariza can move around the small forward, the power sometimes.
But this is my thing. Like I just don't know if I definitely think they can win another ring, but I don't know if it's gonna be 3 rings. I don't know if he can get a 3-peat because, as I was saying, these teams will build up to be able to one up the championship or the champions. It's always like that. They try to one up the champions, try to get something that could dismantle a championship roster, and they'll make their own championship roster, and then it's how it goes each year.
All I know is the last time LeBron had an MVP player on his team besides him, they almost had a 3-peat. So
yep,
I think they're running it back to back at least.
And the thing is, you got 2 MVPs now, with Russell Westbrook and himself being both former MVPs, and then
Dwayne Wade.
Oh no, I'm not even talking about that. But Anthony Davis being an MVP candidate before, and he was such a huge presence. He carried the Pelicans when he was on the Pelicans. So it's even crazy to think how Westbrook's moved around so much. Like it kind of like doesn't sit with me well. It's like, you guys know who the hell this is?
Dude, he's averaged a triple-double the past 4 straight years. That's never been done before. And he's moved around. Like, that's ridiculous.
He's got the most triple-doubles in NBA history, man. Like, how the hell are you just going to trade that man like he's nothing? Like, the thing is...
It's him and Ja for me.
The thing is, he's getting to the point in his career, and I feel like people, like, not being around people like Kevin Durant or Paul George. I mean, like, Paul George isn't necessarily bad, but, Paul George can... sometimes I feel like he can bring other superstars around him down because he's not performing like the superstar that they want him to be.
Yep. I completely agree with that.
How he was supposed to be Westbrook's 1-2 punch. Then they added Melo. And then he was supposed to be Kawhi's 1-2 punch. And he hasn't really succeeded with that.
Yep.
So these players aren't able to really bring out their full potential. Like that OKC team with Melo and Paul George and Westbrook should have been a championship team. But I feel like now they could have been. But I feel like now it was actually hard to compete with the Warriors back then.
It really was,
yeah.
bro,
I can't even take away from that actually. But I could have seen them in the Western Conference Finals. I mean, they didn't even make it close to that.
You're right.
So
they didn't have a good enough center, in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel you. So now how he's around superstars like LeBron James and Anthony Davis, who are a little more humble just naturally in their minds, like what's not humble about Anthony Davis, or what's not humble about LeBron? As much as LeBron kind of boasts, like sometimes can boast about being King James and stuff like that, he kind of knows he's getting to that point where it's like I need help. Like I can't be the 2018 LeBron where I'm freaking shooting daggers and shooting threes and buzzer beaters.
He can't only be it. Like he's
like you're gonna get gassed out. You're 37.
And it's like, bro, like honestly, like we already know like how to beat LeBron is to build a super team.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody's doing it. So like now it's like, guys, I literally can't beat Thanos and niggas every season, bro. Like y'all niggas gotta get. So he's getting his team, which I think is dope as fuck.
I love it, yeah.
But fuck you, LeBron, personally.
This is it, man. This is his final
Make
year.
a break.
Yep.
I'm telling you, it's gonna be all for Kobe. It's gonna be in the documentary. It's gonna be for Big Bro. That's gonna be the name. Watch.
And it's funny because I've been seeing a lot of LeBron inspired or LeBron tribute shoes lately.
Yeah.
For some reason, a lot of shoes have been releasing. Like I just personally got a pair of Air Maxes that has all his accolades, and one shoe is purple, one shoe's yellow.
Do you still have that, or did you get rid of those?
I still have them. I tried to sell them to Go.
Oh yeah. So you got them back?
Yeah, I got them back. They were on some bullshit.
Bro.
Never wore the sneakers, and they said they sent me a little pic of a white scuff on the black tongue. And literally, when I got them back, I just scrubbed it out with my thumb, and it wasn't there anymore. And they tried to say my shoe was new with defects, and I had people offer me like $100 less for them. I was like, fuck that, just send me them back.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So
I'll buy them bitches, bro. I'd rather have those. It literally has all his accolades. It's almost like MJ's 10th shoe, where he has all the accolades on the bottom.
Yeah. So yeah, it shows all his finals appearances. It shows all his finals championships, all his All-Star games, his MVPs, crazy. Whatever. Any accolades, his Olympic gold medals, anything.
If he gets a 3-peat, he's got to do it again.
Got to make another shoe, literally. So there's another shoe that just came out. I just saw it earlier. I don't remember who the collab was, but it was like a skating shoe. It was like a Nike type of skating shoe, and they're purple and gold and white, and it's a LeBron tribute. I think the tongues have 23 on them. So it's pretty cool. I mean, he's always gotten a lot of love in his career, but we'll see if he's really able to push a 3-peat, because at this age, it's really hard. It's going to be hard, even with certain players around him, because they're old themselves. I mean, not Anthony Davis really, but like Westbrook with his style of play. Oh, and that's what I was going to say real quick. So Westbrook now being around players who are a little more maybe humble-minded, at least at this point in their career, it kind of helps him change his game as well, from always having to be the man on any team he's been on. Because think about it. He was surrounded around, like I was saying, like Paul George. Yep. And then he went to the Rockets. He was with James Harden.
Yep.
I feel like James Harden personally has a huge ego.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
And I'm a huge fan of James Harden. I love his game, but I just don't think he's ever had the championship DNA. I think he needs other people around him that have championship DNA to rub off on him so he can have it.
Yeah.
So I think this is his best situation to have KD and Kyrie, who have both won rings, you know? I mean, even though KD kind of, some people might say his rings are invalid because he went to the Warriors. But, I mean, the man still won some fucking rings. And no matter, he was still, like, the best player on that team.
He's the reason they won, for sure.
Like, for sure. Like, he was the difference. Like, when LeBron beat the Warriors and then they got Kevin Durant, like, he was the difference.
Yeah.
Like, it was
completely.
When you see Steph or Clay slacking a little bit and then they're just able to pass it back out to KD, and you just got the fucking Slim Reaper 7-footer just draining it from a deep-ass 3-point range. It's just like, yo, how do you beat that? This man can drive in on you. This man can defend you. He's 7 foot. He just shoots right over you like it's nothing, and he's got a dagger of a shot. And then you got Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, who have, I think they've both been 3-point contest champions, right?
Yeah, they both have.
Like,
yeah.
Bro, it's just ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. And then Draymond Green being one of the best all-around players in the league, in my opinion. He can do everything. He's like a jack of all trades, but he's not a pro in any. He's not a professional in any aspect, like defense or like scoring. He's able to do everything. I think he's a little more strong defensively than he is offensively.
Yeah.
He's not necessarily like, whoa, he's like fucking locked down. Like he can guard anybody. You know what I mean? So I think finally, like Westbrook not being around, even when he was around fucking Durant, you know, he's been around Durant, Harden, Paul George, all these guys who just don't seem like they have that DNA in them for a championship. But
Brad Beal.
Yeah, Bradley Beal, like, I mean, he just came from, like, Bradley Beal's not necessarily anybody who's like a toxic or a nuisance.
I think he could be. I think he does have that championship DNA, bro.
Bradley Beal, I think he could too. I mean, I love Bradley Beal. That's why I'm trying to say, like, I don't really think anything's wrong with Bradley Beal, but I just think he needs the championship DNA around him. He needs it.
They definitely need another.
Being with LeBron, this is the most influential teammate he's going to ever have in his career.
No doubt.
For most people in the NBA, they could probably say that. Because, a lot of players at this point have played with LeBron. With as many players as he signed to one-year deals, as many players as he wanted added to his teams. He's been through a lot of players.
Dude,
met a lot of players.
It's going to be very interesting what happens, man. Mm-hmm. I'm so excited to see this team play. And I really want to see Westbrook average over 11.5 assists this next season. And I think if he does that, they're going to win.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't need to score as much. He averaged like 15 to 17, have like 8.5 rebounds, like 11.5, 12 assists. Dude, that would be insane. And then you have LeBron having over 25, 80 having over 25.
Yeah. And that's very possible that each of them can score double digits, like easily. And I was actually just looking up because I forgot where Montrezl Harrell went, but he was a part of that Wizards and Lakers trade. He went to the Wizards, I forgot. So that's pretty dope, actually.
The Wizards definitely got a nice return,
Yeah. I'm looking forward to watching that team. They're going to be very interesting. I'm hoping the best for them. I think it's definitely the best situation for Westbrook and one of the best situations that LeBron's ever had. So we'll see how it works out.
Yeah.
So another quick trade. Actually just one trade that I wanted to mention tonight. There hasn't really been too many trades going on or anything like that. It's kind of a dead season for that right now in any league, really. Not really a lot of trades going on. But
I don't know. We'll see what goes on with Michael Thomas.
Oh, yeah. I can't even wait to get into my fantasy draft. I took him, by the way. That's why I'm saying that. But the Timberwolves got Patrick Beverley. So this was how it went. So Patrick Beverley was on the Clippers with Rajon Rondo. And there was another third player that was involved. I'll have to look back at that trade real quick. But Patrick Beverley was on the Clippers. He got traded to the Grizzlies. And who went to the Grizzlies? Eric Bledsoe went to the Clippers.
Yep.
So, yeah, it was a whole whirlwind of trades.
So that's their mini three now, I guess.
Yeah, so Eric Bledsoe went from – who was he on last before the
he was on the Pelicans.
He was on the Pelicans, yeah. So Eric Bledsoe went from the Pelicans to the Grizzlies, then got traded for Patrick Beverley.
No. He went to the Bucks, to the Pelicans, to the Grizzlies.
Well, yeah, I know. But I'm saying, like, recently over the past few weeks.
Oh, yeah.
So Eric Bledsoe was on the Pelicans this past year, and he got traded to the Grizzlies for Patrick Beverley, Rajon Rondo, and a young player named Daniel Oturu. So I'm not too familiar with him, but I believe he's a young guard that's coming up, and he hasn't shown any crazy promise yet, but it's just a nice young piece to add. All they gave up was Eric Bledsoe, sorry. So the Grizzlies in return got Patrick Beverley, Rajon Rondo, and Rajon Rondo is one of the best court vision point guards of this generation. He's very smart when it comes to finding the open man or finding the open lane or being able to see what the best play is in a certain situation, how much time you got left, whatever it is.
No doubt.
And Patrick Beverley being a premier defender, being known mostly for his defending and his grittiness.
Yeah.
Being such a tough player, like, don't fuck with me. Like, I'll shove you back or we can get, like, feisty, basically, type shit. So, I mean, yeah, it was a pretty interesting trade. And then Patrick Beverley was not on the Grizzlies for long.
And I knew he wasn't going to be there long.
And you were saying that, too. You said they should keep Rondo over Beverley so Rondo can be a mentor to Ja Morant. So I'm honestly pretty happy that Rondo will be on the Grizzlies. Rondo is one of those players that's been on, like, fucking 8 teams, man.
He's like 8 now?
I don't even know. I think it's like...
It's close to that.
But yeah, exactly.
I feel like he's been on the Kings.
You get my drift.
Kings, Lakers, Celtics. Who else? He's been on the Pelicans.
And it's fucking crazy,
Yeah, he's definitely been on, like, 8 teams.
It's fucking crazy because, like, even Patrick Beverley, like, he's always been a solid defender. Like, he's a solid piece on any roster that he's been on. You know what I mean? Like he's never been a pushover or nothing. Like if people see him as a pushover or like as a joke, like he's not all that. He's whatever. It's like he shows you like, man, I'll get in your head then, or
Dude,
I'll just be tough.
He's so physical.
I'll show you my physicality, or I'll get in your fucking head if you don't think that I'm on your level. I will make you get down to my level.
It's so funny because when we were watching him in the playoffs, your mom was like, "Yo, I hate him because he's so physical. He's always up in their face. Like, just leave him alone."
That's him.
Just leave him alone.
That's why teams get Patrick Beverley.
Yeah.
So
you love him when he's on your team. You hate him when you're playing against him.
Exactly. I would love Patrick Beverley to be on the Heat. I think he's got Heat DNA in him.
Oh yeah.
And that's a real thing. Like they were talking about doing a Karl Anthony Towns trade scenario, or with Karl Anthony Towns going to the Heat, and they were saying like, oh, he don't got Heat DNA. Oh, what would make you guys think that Jimmy Butler wants to play with Cat again after he said that he was immature and that he didn't want to win or wasn't committed to winning? It's like some people just don't have it in them.
Cat went through a lot of shit recently too.
He did, but even before that, when we were talking about that actually last episode, I don't take anything away from how much he's been through because COVID has had a huge impact on his personal life, but he just has never showed. He's always showed his individual skill, but he's never showed his team player skill to where he's like, I'm going to try to push my team to win a championship or get in the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's like he's just not that player.
I think he's definitely, if he had somebody like Butler again and he went to the Heat, that would be the player to send y'all back.
But they're talking about, what they want to do? They're talking about trading fucking Tyler Herro and Bam for him. And I'm like,
that wouldn't even be bad.
I don't want to get rid of Bam. I love Bam.
I love Bam too, but if
Bam
I'm getting
should be
Cat,
a part of our show going forward. But the thing, it's just because I don't know about Cat. Like you've seen how Jimmy Butler has played with Cat before, and it's not even just that, but it's like if you're just gonna suddenly come to the Heat and try to be a baller, why haven't you been able to do something for the Timberwolves?
Bro,
you've had D'Angelo Russell, you've had Andrew Wiggins, you've had other solid players around you. But
maybe it's just the environment, bro.
It might be.
You're in Minnesota,
it might
dog.
Be.
What's out in Minnesota?
Because what have you heard from D'Lo since he's gone to Minnesota?
I haven't heard shit from D'Lo.
It's like, oh my God, D'Lo went to Minnesota. He's with Cat now.
I've heard more from Edwards.
The last thing I've seen of D'Lo was D'Lo landing on the private jet in Minnesota when he got traded, and that was it. And all the how the fans were welcoming them at the airport, they're holding up all the signs oh my God, we got a new player, we got a new star player on our roster and all this shit. And then it's just that's the last thing I heard. So he's not doing much either. But
it's definitely a small 3 though going into this year, so it'll be interesting to see what they do. If nobody was traded, they got Anthony Edwards, who was the first pick last year.
Yep.
They got D'Angelo Russell, like you were saying, and then they got Karl Anthony Towns, who's at center. So those 3 pieces are really solid.
Yep, and they just got Beverly. So now getting back to that, so how Beverly was traded to the Grizzlies, how it's just been a whole whirlwind of trades. So he got traded to the Grizzlies. He was on the team for about a day, and maybe 2. And he got traded to the Timberwolves. So Patrick Beverly is now in the Timberwolves. He got traded for Jarrett Culver, which is, I believe, a third-year player now. And I think he's either only 22 or 23. He's pretty young. He's a guard. He's nothing too special yet, but he shows some promise, And then Juancho Hernan Gomez was the second player that was part of that trade. Juancho. So I believe he's Willie Hernan Gomez's brother.
I mean, that would be kind of fucking crazy if he wasn't.
Yeah. Because, Hernan Gomez is not necessarily a very common last name.
Especially if you're in the
Especially
NBA.
in the league, yeah. But yeah, it was a pretty interesting trade. I think it'll add a little bit of grit and grind to the team, having somebody like Patrick Beverly. Because I think that's a big part of Minnesota's problem as well, is, you see their top 2 players, and everybody's like, people just look at the names. People just look at D'Angelo Russell and Karl Anthony Towns. They're like, holy shit, that's talent right there. They can be really good. But you got to remember,
coaching goes a lot into it.
Coaching goes a lot into it. Boston. Cat is in a very, I'm sure Cat even to this day from COVID start, like he's still in a very sensitive state of mind, probably. You know, he's lost his mom, he's lost multiple family members. It sucks, you know? So it's something that can really weigh down on someone's performance, especially when you're supposed to be the guy for your franchise. But then, and that's not his fault, but it's something you got to watch out for. It's something you still got to be mindful of, because at the end of the day, to these guys, it's just a business. You know, to some of these owners, it's a business. Like, I'm trying to win rings. It's like, we care about you and we're here to back you up, but we still got to try to win. Like, we can't wait for you to feel okay to start winning, or wait for you to feel okay to start really putting efforts to win a ring.
Especially when they're paying you millions of dollars.
Yeah, exactly. And then you got D'Lo, and I would expect more from D'Lo. He had fucking 2 years of mentoring from Kobe fucking Bryant.
Yeah.
Like, RIP to Kobe, man. Fucking one of the best players ever, man. One of the best pure scorers. This man should have, like, he was a good mentor for D'Angelo Russell while he was there. And then D'Angelo Russell went to the Nets, I believe. He started to show charge on the Nets, like, oh, you know, I could be the guy.
Yeah, they took him to the playoffs.
Yeah, took him to the playoffs. He was like the premier player on the Nets. He kind of started to – that was really the point where the Nets started to come up again. Like, once they got D'Angelo Russell, they started getting players like Karis LeVert. They got Dinwiddie. And, I mean, Dinwiddie's gone now. He's actually on the Wizards now. So
4 year,
be a good team.
4-year deal.
Yep. That'll be a solid team with Beal and Harrell there. And, Kuzma. But, yeah, I mean, it's really exciting. But yes, what I was saying about the Timberwolves, their 2-star players are just very fragile, it seems like. With D'Angelo, like, I feel like D'Angelo Russell's is very fragile as well, because he's just not necessarily, like, he doesn't show that championship DNA either, in a way.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't show, like, that winning mentality either.
If he did, the Warriors would have won a fucking chip with him.
Yeah. Yeah, let's not forget about his little stint on the Warriors, because they didn't want to give up Kevin Durant for nothing, so he got traded for that and then went to the Timberwolves from the Warriors. So he's been all around too, another star player that's been all around.
So, it doesn't seem like he'll be in the Timberwolves for long. You know, he wanted to play with Cat. I'm pretty sure they were college teammates, but this is like another thing. Like, this is your year, just like the Lakers and just like a couple other teams, or just certain circumstances. Like, this is your year to really prove it.
Exactly.
And if you don't, then you're probably going to be switching around, especially if LeBron wins, because everything fucking snaps as soon as LeBron wins.
I feel you. So that's pretty much it for any tradings or signings or extensions going on right now in the NBA.
Bro, just to make a quick mention, these backwoods are fucking thin as fuck, and there's something wrong with them. Because compared to those Swisher leaves, it's like an actual leaf. Like, this shit is so processed. You can definitely tell.
Shit, man. Maybe backwoods are...
I'm done smoking woods.
Oh, yeah, right.
Nah, I want to switch this. I've been smoking Swisher leaves for a while. You can't say I haven't been smoking.
I know, yeah. You've been mainly smoking Swisher leaves, but you're definitely not done smoking backwoods. You're going to smoke backwoods sometimes.
Yeah.
So, moving on from that. So, anyways, we're going to talk about the Summer League Championship. So, the Summer League Championship just passed on the 17th. So, it was 2 days ago. And I honestly didn't realize it was a fucking blowout.
What's today's date?
The 19th.
The 19th.
Right. Wow.
Oh, actually, yeah. So, yeah, it was technically a day, but since we just crossed over. So, yeah, technically yesterday, if you want to count it that way. But the Kings beat the Celtics Summer League team 100-67.
Did my man show out? Did my man Mitchell show out?
Talking about, yeah, let me look real quick.
Davion Mitchell, the 9th pick in the draft.
He didn't do too much. I mean, he only had, really the standout performance was this King guy. I wish I would let him put his name. He had 21 points. And he's on the, so he's on the Kings roster. So the starters, the only one that really showed out was Ramsey. They got a guy named Ramsey. I don't know most of these. You see, like, a lot of these guys are just Summer League fillers, so I don't know a lot of their first names. But they had a guy with the last name of Ramsey. His initial is J, so it was like Jalen Ramsey almost. He had 16 points, but he was 0 for 4 on 3-pointers, and 8 for 16 from the field. Davion Mitchell, your guy, who just got drafted by the Kings, who people were making fun of saying it's Donovan Mitchell's brother, but it's really not. He only had 9 points on 3 for 12 shooting. That is fucking man.
That's not good.
They had another starter by the last name of King. His first initial is L. If any of you know any of these first names, it's not letting me pull them up. But he actually stood out with 21 points on 8 for 18 shooting and only 3 rebounds, no assists. So it seems like that guy just might be a pure scorer. So I was pretty shocked to see this. You know, it's kind of crazy because you see the summer league goes by so quick. And on last episode, I mentioned some of my top 5 summer league performers so far, and you just wouldn't think it would be such a huge blowout, especially like all these games have been relatively close. It seems like a lot of the summer league games, and then you get to the summer league championship, and it's just a 33-point blowout. Like it's crazy. So yeah, I mean it's so for the sorry, I got a little distracted for a second there, but for the Celtics, they didn't really have any standout performances.
Is that Carson Edwards?
Is that who it is? Oh, you familiar with him?
I think that's who it is. They drafted him, I think, last year, and then they got Bruno Fernando. And then
so it seems like Carson Edwards didn't do too bad. He was the starting point guard for the Celtics team.
Taco Fall play?
Taco. I don't see Taco on this roster.
Where is Taco Fall now?
I think he's still on the Celtics.
He needs to play in the league, man. He needs to be getting some minutes. He's way too fucking tall not to be getting some minutes. Along with fucking Bull.
He's a free agent.
Taco Fall's a free agent, man. Someone needs to sign him.
Oh, he's on a 2-way contract with the Celtics G League.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so yeah, Carson Edwards. He seems like he might be somebody who can do it all. So he was only 5 for 16 shooting, 2 for 9 from the 3-point, which is pretty trash. And he was minus 28 on the game.
Who?
Carson Edwards.
Damn.
So, but he did have 15 points on his poor shooting. He was able to manage to get 15 points. He had 3 turnovers, which is a little shaky, but not too serious. He had 1 block, 1 steal, 3 assists, and 5 rebounds. So he was able to fill the stat sheet up at least once in each category.
Yeah.
Which is nice to see from a point guard. You don't really see that too often unless you're like Russell Westbrook.
They got their ass kicked, man. This wasn't even close.
Yeah. They didn't have any standout performances besides that on the Celtics. So it seems like it was pretty relatively a one-sided game. I mean, they had one play. Oh, wow, this probably was a big difference. They had one player off the Kings bench. He played 22 minutes off the bench, and he's a forward. Last name Terry, and his first name is the E initial, so I'm not too sure. Oh, we can't see what's for that. Can't read that thing. Okay.
All right.
My bad for that, y'all. I was trying to unblock the comments because I couldn't read them. Little technical difficulty real quick. But yeah, we're back. So
What the fuck?
yeah, that was, I don't know what the hell just happened. We went
All right.
So,
I guess we went to a Bible reading.
Yeah,
that
was weird.
Why is that there? I have to take a picture of that,
Bro.
So so just to say what just happened real quick, Coin. So I couldn't see your comment, and I was trying to click a button to unblock whatever was blocking the comment, and I essentially accidentally just exited out. But we were still live, luckily. I didn't end the broadcast, so we're good. Picking back up where we left off.
What the fuck you just did, dog?
That was weird as hell. And then you told me it was the top one. It was some Bible reading.
I thought it was.
We were in a Bible reading. I said a curse word.
I don't know why
what
we're
the
in
fuck
that.
it
I didn't
was.
know we was a part of the church.
All right, so anyways, sorry for whatever we just interrupted for a split second. We're back. So let's see. Taco could do that 3-point layup. Yeah, so I mean that was basically the wrap up for the Kings and Celtics game. 100-67. So the guy Terry off the bench, he had 15 rebounds off the bench and 5 steals and 9 points. That's ridiculous. That's some pretty good stats.
Wow.
So that's a big presence coming off the bench in a summer league game. He was plus 28. He was actually the best player, plus minus that game.
Wow.
So that's basically it for any NBA news right now.
I guess that really wraps it up. It's gonna be a little quiet until I guess the season starts up.
Yeah, for right now, for the NBA, it might be a little quiet going on. Yeah, until we start getting into, let's see, free agency just passed, so gonna have to wait for the season now.
Well, we got NFL all in full force, man.
NFL stuff to talk about.
We got this shit. We got fantasy shit to talk about, man.
I just had my fantasy draft. I'm about to share my roster with you guys. I'm about to share some of these rosters with you guys. See, or my opponent's rosters. See what you guys maybe think. If you guys got anything to say in the comments, maybe some pointers on that you could give me. Even though we try to give the pointers here, but you know, we don't discriminate against any.
We fucking suck. We suck at fantasy. We can't make any money.
So
it's not like we almost won $1,000 in our first year last year.
So they can see this right now as I start moving it.
Go to the actual tab.
Got you. So we good now?
So now everything that you do on that tab, they will see on that tab.
All right, got you.
All
so
right,
they can see this right now.
100%.
Okay, sweet.
It was a 10-team draft.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
the 4th pick.
So real quick, I'll just explain my league. So I have a 10-team. This is my third year in this league with these same people. We only are missing one original person from the first year, but we've had this one person that's been the past 2 years. It's been, except that, it's been all the same people every year. So we just did a 10-team draft. It was PPR, no keepers, and that'll be something that we talk about in Landon's league when he does his draft, or LJ's league. He has keepers in his league, and you do need to watch that because they lock in tonight.
No, they lock in tomorrow at 12 p.m.
All right, so yeah, watch out for that. Make sure you switch that. So, yeah. So, anyways, real quick, I'm gonna share my roster with you guys, and I want to see what you think. So, this draft was this NFL draft, or so this fantasy draft. Sorry, it was very, very crazy.
Yeah, it was the most
Nuts.
insane draft I've ever seen happen in my life. It was crazier than Clyde Edwards-Helaire going first last year.
So I'll show you guys real quick.
Can you see your draft results?
Are they able to? I don't know if we can do that on here. I've only used this mostly on my phone, but we can at least look at each team. So I don't. Are they able to see my cursor?
Well, I don't know.
All right.
That's a good question.
Yeah. So if you guys can see my cursor, then I'm circling around my Team Polo logo. So I've always had this logo for the past 3 years, and the only time I ever switched it, I started losing drastically. So I just kept that logo. That's my OG logo. Team Polo. That's a little inside thing. So yeah, so I guess I'll give the history behind my name. Why not? So Team Polo came upon because if you guys, I mean, Marco Polo is my name on here. That's one thing. Yeah. And then Marco Polo came as a nickname because when I worked at the car wash that I worked at back in the day, I worked there for almost 2 years, and that's actually who I started this fantasy league with. So my old boss invited me to it. His brother is the league commissioner. His brother actually came into the car wash one day and was just talking about, hey man, like I heard you're interested in football, like blah blah blah, like, you know, join the league, it's gonna be fun. And the first year I was a little shaky. Second year I completely fucked them up. So I feel like they honestly all want revenge on me in a way. But I got my same solid big three. So Team Polo, they used to call me, my name is Marcus. That's my first name. If nobody knows what my first name is, our real names are Marcus and Landon. So
no, that's not my real name.
yeah, all right. This guy wants to be all, you know, vigilante. So anyways, first name's Marcus, and they started calling me Marco or Mark, whatever. Then they called me Marco. Then it went to Marco Polo. Then it just went to Polo, and everybody at the car wash be like, "Hey, yo, Polo!" They yelling my name, Polo, Polo this, Polo that. So I just said, "Fuck it, I'll be Team Polo."
I had the walkies at the car wash. Right?
Oh yeah. Oh, let me. You know what? That's funny. We could talk about that. That'd be some funny shit. So we used to have walkie-talkies at the car wash, and I had like an earpiece because I was what was called a CSA, which is a customer service associate. And I remember one day some of our managers wasn't there, and the only manager that was on the site was the manager that I played in the league with. And over the walkie, where all the other people can hear, he's like, "I'll trade you." He's trying to trade me DeAndre Hopkins, and I finessed this guy first year so bad. This man, he wanted. I took, and I remember that actually worked, taking Philip Lindsay. So my boss wanted Philip Lindsay so bad. This was the 2019 season, so this was 2 years ago. He wanted him so bad that he offered me all these players. He tried to give me Emmanuel Sanders. He tried to give me Emmanuel Sanders and another running back. I was like, nah, I don't want it. This man straight up said, "I'm gonna offer you Hopkins for Philip Lindsay." I'm like, "No, you're not." And he's like, "Bet." And then he's like, "I bet you won't accept it because you want Lindsay so bad." I'm like, "You're not gonna send me that trade." He sends me the fucking trade when I clock out of work. I'm on the way home. He sends me Hopkins for Philip Lindsay. I've never accepted a trade faster in my life.
Yo, right?
I was like,
that's just insane.
I was like, bro, you just gave me a top 3 receiver for Philip Lindsay, bro?
Who?
Like, what the fuck? Look at Philip Lindsay now, bro. He's a second, third string running back. I mean, he's probably gonna be second string, maybe even first. Man, he could outplay David Johnson.
You never know what happens over there for sure. The Texans are looking real shaky right now.
Here, so go back to my team real quick now.
We're gonna get back into that. Yeah, let's get back into that before we dive into your week 1 matchup.
Now that we explained my team real quick, so we're at the point.
You got a quarterback. Did you explain that? Like, truly break it down, because people can't. There's only a couple viewers that can truly see this.
Gotcha. So the way that my 10-team PPR league works is you have the starting lineup. You have a quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers. As if you guys can see the screen, or as you can see on the screen, you have the tight end, and then that W/R spot is a flex spot. So usually you put a wide receiver or a running back. You could even put a tight end there, and then a defense.
Apparently last year.
Oh, and a kicker as well. Sorry.
Apparently last year in the flex spot, you could put Taysom Hill because he was considered a Swiss Army knife. So he's I don't even know. I guess he's currently starting quarterback for the Saints.
You can start him anywhere. Well, I mean, I don't know.
So right now,
I think Winston got taken in my draft.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might have to load. That's kind of crazy, actually. So
I don't think he'll be the starter. I think Winston will take that over him.
We have 7 bench pieces as well. So in total, I believe it's 16 or 17. So yeah, 17 roster spots or 16. It's one or the other. So my first overall pick, I had the 4th pick in the draft, and me and Landon were even talking about before the draft. Neither of us want a top 3 pick.
Yeah, because
that's what sets the pedestal too much. And if any of you know any fantasy knowledge out there, or have or know anything significant about fantasy, you don't take quarterbacks too early. At least in my opinion, unless it's like Lamar or Mahomes, maybe.
If it's a 12-team, I understand. If it's a 12-team league, if you're taking them in the 11th or 12th round, I understand. But if you're playing in a 10-team league, you should not be taking a quarterback in the first round. It's ridiculous to think about.
Yep. So I want to tell you guys. So first overall pick was McCaffrey. Second overall pick was who was the second running back? Oh, shit.
It was Cook.
Cook, yep, Dalvin Cook. And then the third overall pick, Patrick Mahomes. There's the fuck up.
That started it all.
There's the fuck up. That gave me fourth overall to get Derrick Henry, who was projected to go third overall. Now, I had Derrick Henry last year, and Derrick Henry is the running back for the Tennessee Titans. He just
go to his stats last year.
he just led the league in
your league
in rushing yards.
Oh yeah, he led the league in rushing.
He led
yards.
the league in rushing yards by damn near 500 yards, and second place was Dalvin Cook.
Can you pull up last year's stats? See.
So Derrick Henry, he's basically the most workhorse running back in the league, in my opinion. He's been very leaned on. He's huge.
25 plus carries.
Yeah, like he can get 25 plus carries in a game. Either way, he's pushing 20 every game, whether it's 18, 15, 22, 25, whatever. Like he's making it happen. So I love Derrick Henry. He was honestly the running back that I wanted to get again. I'm super ecstatic that I got him again. So I'm really happy about that pick. So Derrick Henry was my first overall pick, and then this was really the shocker. Tom Brady went fifth overall in my draft. So there's this guy in our draft in our league who's a huge Buccaneers fan, and he was very biased on this draft around the Buccaneers, and we'll get to his team. But he took a lot of Buccaneers players that you would not take in a normal fantasy draft if you're really trying to win, I'd say. He had O.J. Howard as a starting tight end. Let me just put it as that. So my second pick was Calvin Ridley. Or no, Stephon Diggs. It was Stephon Diggs. So right now, Stephon Diggs having a little bit of uncertainty. You know, people are saying he's got this knee injury that's been lingering for about 2-3 weeks now.
Yep. And
the last known update was on Sunday, August 15th. So that was 4 days ago now. And he was held out of Sunday's practice. So
it's a little scary because they're not saying anything. And
he's been sidelined for a week. It says it right there.
It's going into his second week now.
So supposedly Coach Sean McDermott is under the belief that it won't impact his availability for the regular season. So that's at least good to see, because I did just take this man with my second overall pick, because Diggs put on for me last year. I had the leading rusher and the leading receiver last year, and I have them again. So I'm happy to be able to bring them both back to my team. I freaking love Diggs' game. I think he's a reception monster. Definitely glad to have him moving forward with this league. So, yeah, adding both of them back. I also got Kyler Murray back. We'll get to him. But Calvin Ridley was my third pick.
Which was insane.
Yes. So in a lot of these, I do a lot of mock drafts coming up to my league. And really, Calvin Ridley has been going early second round, maybe at most late second round in almost every draft. And I got this man in the third round because a lot of people in my draft were drafting players that either are their favorite team or whatever. You know, they're not drafting players that are really in interest to make the team good.
It was ridiculous. It was just absolutely insane, that whole draft. Like, I was really hoping to see some comparisons to help for my draft.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can't. Like, there is nothing to go off of.
I mean, like, you have a lot of people in my draft who are making some drastic decisions. We were even all talking during the draft and saying, like we were telling each other in the chat while we were drafting, like, this year is going to be nuts.
Yep.
And like, oh, this year is going to be wild. Like, I don't know what.
You got to get in a more competitive league.
I do. I honestly do. Yeah. I mean, I love my league. Like they can get competitive, but I don't want to say I can get in a more competitive league yet. I've only won one championship in this league. Yeah. But it just seems like I seem like.
I mean, Brady in the fifth pick. And then you had a defense going to fourth round?
Yep. So Calvin,
do not take a kicker.
Yo, don't take a kicker in the first fucking 8 rounds, okay? Or you're fucking up. These people started taking kickers in the 6th round.
Don't take a kicker at all, in my opinion.
And that's another thing that they drastically fucked up on.
You don't need a kicker.
You don't really need a kicker.
But if kickers bring points.
Kickers bring points, but you don't.
I'm saying you have to have a kicker to start. There's always going to be a kicker on the free agent list after the draft is over, which we'll get into.
Yeah.
That you can just pick up on your team and start for you.
Most of the time, there's going to be, yeah. So
there's no point on wasting a draft pick where you can get a wide receiver, tight end, or something that's going to get you double the amount of points.
That's just how we think, though, depending on the kicker sometimes. But it's just like, to me, I would rather spend a 6th round pick on a really good running back or wide receiver than a kicker, or even an 8th round pick.
There's no more kickers in the league that are truly dominant anymore.
Yeah,
like
you're
Tucker's
right.
no longer a dominant kicker. You're seeing him slip in age.
Yep.
You have this new guy from New England who's been hitting dingers in the middle, like just straight on, right through the middle. I forget his name, but we mentioned him last pod.
Oh, the New England kicker?
Yeah. Josh Lambo is honestly a great kicker, but he just had an injury. Like, who's a main kicker? You know, you got Chris Boswell for the Steelers, but he's not good enough to hit deep balls like that consistently. Matt Prater's getting old, who currently holds a 64-yard field goal record. Daniel Carlson for the Raiders, nothing special. Like, who's truly a dominant kicker anymore? I mean, you got Blankenship, who's a rookie, or who was a rookie.
Him and Young-Ho Koo are the first kickers getting taken.
Young-Ho Koo.
So, moving on with my draft, I got Calvin Ridley with my 3rd pick, and I'm really happy about that because I got my 2 solid receivers right there. And just wait till you hear my other receivers.
Look at my top 3, bro.
I think they could be, for real.
That's your top 3 right there.
Ridley, man, and he was putting up insane numbers next to Julio last year. This man's about to be the wide receiver 1 on the Falcons, clearly. I think he had 1,300-plus receiving yards last year, and he had about 8 or 9 touchdowns or something.
Yeah.
And that's really good. That is really good for someone who is being a wide receiver 2 to somebody like Julio fucking Jones.
Yeah.
And as much as Julio was almost out half the season, even the other half, we got to remember the whole other half of the season, he was performing next to him.
Yeah.
So I'd love to have Ridley with my 3rd pick, sorry. And hold on, let's go back to, I'm just going to cover the rest of my roster real quick. And then my 4th pick, I believe, was it DeAndre Swift? I wish it would show my draft order. I can't find that. But yeah, I'll just go through my roster real quick. So another player that I was really happy to get. So those are my top 3 picks right there. So then I was able to get DeAndre Swift as well. So DeAndre Swift is a 2nd-year running back.
Nah, you took Kyler in the 4th, which I honestly think.
I took Kyler in the 5th.
Nah, you took Kyler in the 4th.
Oh,
yeah, because you could have taken Montgomery, which I had written down on the paper, actually. Which that would be cool to show. Like, I even told you this morning, I was like, the possibility of you getting Ridley and Diggs is kind of high, I feel like, because just based off of what happened.
We were actually really talking about that. And, like, the way that, like, the very last mock that came to, because I was even telling him, I'm like, yo, the people in my league draft weird. Like, I feel like I could really get these certain guys that we're talking about at these certain points. And we were able to, for the most part. So I was pretty happy to get DeAndre Swift as well.
You definitely could have got Montgomery.
Yeah. I got a lot of workhorse running backs, in my opinion. So these 2 being the most workhorse running backs. DeAndre Swift, well, not in the league, but that I got. So DeAndre Swift is an upcoming player. They did just lose Matt Stafford to the Rams, and they got Jared Goff, which is, to me, really not anything too crazy. They have pretty much a fresh wide receiver core. They lost Marvin Jones and Kenny Golladay.
Wow.
So now they have, Tyrell Williams. But you were saying how the offensive coordinator is there that's connected to him.
Anthony Lynn.
Yeah, Anthony Lynn. Oh, yeah, shit, it was Anthony Lynn. Former Chargers head coach who had some experience with Tyrell Williams. So, I mean, besides that, Jared Goff is a little shaky. And then DeAndre Swift even showing a glimpses of being that guy in his rookie season. And now I think he's going to have a huge opportunity on this team. So
he's just got a little injury problem. He's already shown a little groin injury already.
I honestly, I love DeAndre Swift, man. I think he's gonna.
Yeah, Gostkowski and
What
Tucker
is
were
he saying?
dominant
What
for
is
so
he
long,
saying?
but you don't have them anymore. Exactly. Like, there's just no more dominant kickers to truly take in the 9th, 8th round in a draft. Like, that's just ridiculous. You have no clue what the fuck you're doing if you're doing that. So do not take a quarterback in the first round, and do not draft a kicker at all. In my opinion, you don't need a kicker you don't need to draft one. You can just pick one up.
Exactly, man. I accidentally, for one pick, I actually had my manager call me about some stupid bullshit during the draft. So I accidentally, like that second to last pick, I had an auto pick on my kicker. But I'm not too mad about it. There's still a lot of players left. I could switch them out if I want. So moving on to my 5th pick, I got Kyler Murray, another player returning to Team Polo. So I got my big 3 back: Derrick Henry, Stephon Diggs, and Kyler Murray. They helped lead me to a championship last year. And personally, I think Kyler Murray is a dark horse for MVP. We were talking about that. He's got a decent defense on the other side of the ball now. He's got DeAndre Hopkins, AJ Green, and Christian Kirk. That's a freaking solid 3. Didn't
Andy
Rondale
Isabella,
Moore,
and then they got Rondale
Moore
the rookie.
to that team. Yep. So he's got 5 solid receivers.
Yep.
And
not to mention Dan Arnold, who's a sleeper tight end.
Dan Arnold's on the Panthers, I thought.
Oh, he did. You're right.
Yeah.
What did they end up doing?
I don't necessarily. Actually, I don't even know who the starting tight end is for the Cardinals.
I don't know who it is.
Well,
I thought it was Dan Arnold.
Either way, he's got a whole gang of wide receivers to throw to, and it's going to be pretty fun to see. So it's kind of funny because this is only my 3rd year doing fantasy, and I feel like I've learned so damn much. But I've had the MVP on my team every year, and it would be funny to see Kyler Murray win MVP. Like my first year playing fantasy, I had Lamar Jackson. And I actually had Aaron Rodgers. And then last year I had Kyler Murray and Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers was MVP.
Yeah.
So I had both the MVPs. If Kyler Murray wins MVP, then there you go. 3-peat where I have the MVP.
That would be crazy.
Yeah, right? That would just be cool to see. Even though
I definitely think he could do it. Because there's a lot of hype around Herbert winning it. And I honestly think that there should be more hype around Murray winning it.
Bro, they're saying that Murray's run game has improved a lot. Like it's going to be more of a weapon rather than a nuisance is what they're saying.
If he's not kept, because the keepers are announced 12 p.m. tomorrow, if he's not kept, I'm going to be looking to draft him early.
I'm so glad I ended up getting Murray because I was really thinking, I'm like, yo,
you know what
I got Murray, Herbert, and Prescott left. That was the 3 I had to choose from because the quarterbacks were getting taken early, bro.
You know what I just thought of?
What's up?
What if I kept Eckler and Montgomery? You got to think there's 24 picks. Do you think Montgomery and Eckler in the top 24?
For running backs?
No, in the overall.
So
you got to think it's going to be plus that. I'm going to be having the 30th pick next, or even later than that until I pick next.
If Montgomery can can pick up where he left off at the end of last season, where he was really showing what he's kind of made of, like he was starting to get these double-digit fantasy games, and he was starting to really show like I can be this guy. And now they're reporting that they want to give him 20+ carries a game. We'll see how he can handle it. Really, we'll see how he can handle this new type of workload that he's going to be introducing to himself and to his game, whatever it is. So I was pretty happy with that pick, man. I honestly love this starting lineup and my top 5.
Great, man.
Yeah, I was able to get T.J. Hawkinson as well, and he's like a like half sleeper, half like he could actually do pretty good because another player. So the Lions did lose their only notable receivers really. They got Tyrell Williams and T.J. Hawkinson, so he's going to be their tight end. And if you're not going to have solid wide receivers around a quarterback like Jared Goff at this point in his career as well, going from LA where he maybe have had some hope to just getting shitted to the ship and shipped to the fucking Lions.
Who's probably going to be the top 3 worst teams.
Yeah, literally. Like TJ Hawkinson's going to get those looks. He's a 3rd-year tight end now. He showed a lot of promise. He's able to score touchdowns. He's a pretty hefty dude. And I'm pretty comfortable with the amount of targets he's going to be getting. So that's why I thought it was solid to get him as a tight end.
And you got him late. You got him in like the 8th round.
I did get
which
him
was
late.
Like a steal.
I got him
because
really
all the
late.
other top tight ends were off the board. I think you said Pitts went in the 5th. I think Kyle Pitts, the rookie from Atlanta. So I think Hawkinson can definitely finish over Pitts.
So Hawkinson being my tight end 1, I'm pretty happy about that, and he could finish over Pitts very well because Pitts is still a rookie. He's gonna have some shit to get used to, and Ridley's already shown like I'm ready to take this next step. I could see Ridley getting 1,500 yards.
Yeah.
So
I see him getting more than that, bro.
We'll see because like it might be another thing like I actually am the guy now, so like it might be a little pressure on him to. I don't know. I mean, I think he can handle it though. But either way,
Ridley's. I think honestly, we need to watch some highlights because that's the one person I haven't truly showed you his highlights to why I think he's top 3. And I know you think Diggs is definitely top 3 going into fantasy because he was just number 2 for you. You had number 1 and number 2 receiver with Devontae Adams and Diggs last year.
Oh yeah, and I mean like even when we go to Buffalo Wild Wings or Gators every Sunday. That's like our tradition during the season. We go out every Sunday. We watch any place where we can watch all the games. That's what we do. I would honestly love to get together with some of my fantasy guys soon. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
And we still got to make a fantasy league. I actually got some people at my job who are interested, so we can get a few
That'd be
people.
great.
Yeah.
I most definitely know that Coin wants to do it. I know. That's 3 of us.
That's 3 of us. I got one
there.
dude. I got one dude at my job who's for sure down. So
definitely get somebody off of here.
To maybe get Connor. We can get a few people up here.
Yeah.
There you go. So yeah, we're gonna try to make that happen before the season starts. Get a little IronLung PigSkinz league. If anybody would, maybe we could do it for free, or we could do it maybe each person puts $20 in, something small, or maybe even $10. Just if anybody's not comfortable enough with their fantasy skills, they just want to try it out. So the 3rd running back I was able to acquire, which I was very, very happy that I was able to get him, and we were both very shocked too, was Miles Sanders.
Yeah.
So Miles Sanders.
Got him in the 6th?
Yes. So they're starting
6th round Miles Sanders, man.
They're starting to get a lot of running backs on this team.
That shit blew my mind.
They just got a rookie Gainwell.
That was the pick that really separated it all. Even though they have Jordan Howard there.
Because I already had my core
Scott.
5. Like I already had my core 5, and then I just like everybody like I got Miles Sanders. Because when I got Miles Sanders, the league commissioner, as soon as I picked him, he typed in chat. He was like, "Ooh wee," like he was probably like Polo trying to repeat.
Yeah,
because I just won the championship last year, and I'm trying to repeat. Like I really feel like I had a complete draft.
No doubt. I think you had a little slip up between like 8 and like maybe 9 and 11.
Yeah, there were some parts where I felt like I could have picked better. Like I feel like I was a little shaken on receivers.
If you would have gotten Montgomery, bro, that would have just topped everything off. But you have a lot of potential. It's
Exactly.
hopeful that Sanders and Swift just truly bounce off because they can.
Yeah, I'm really hoping. I think Swift can be really good, honestly. And if not, I have Sanders to be able to lean back on. And Sanders, to me, is like a do-it-all running back. Sanders can catch out of the backfield. He's very fast. He can run screen plays like some of these wide receivers do.
And he's patient.
He's patient. Yes, that was one thing that we've always talked about with Miles Sanders. And he's an elusive back, but he's pretty decent in size. Like I like his size. And yeah,
this really was the icing on top.
Icing on
bro.
the fucking cake. My 4th running back is Mike Davis. To some people, this would be their 2nd running back, maybe even their damn 1st.
Yeah.
This is my 4th running back. Mike Davis is about to start for the Falcons. He started for the Panthers for most of the year last year and put the fuck on when McCaffrey was out, scoring double-digit games. He was a top fantasy running back last year. And I was so glad that I got him. This has been my most, at least on paper, we'll see. This has been my most dominant running back group.
On paper, no doubt.
Yes, because last year I had Henry and Mixon. Mixon got injured. Then I got Gibson in place of Mixon. And then I think it was Gibson, David Johnson, or I traded David Johnson, actually. I honestly don't remember my full team last year. I remember a lot of my core players, though. I would really have to look back on it. So my running backs right there, getting Mike Davis, solid. He's basically a power back. He's a pretty brute dude. So he's able to get through the O-line. I think he's a little bit patient himself, but he's just really able to take that contact. And that's honestly another thing that made me upset when McCaffrey got injured, because it made me intrigued to see what they could do together.
Yeah, they would have been powerful, but they wouldn't have given enough. They wouldn't have given enough snaps for Davis to make a difference.
Right. Because, honestly, and if this didn't happen, he wouldn't be in this place right now. He wouldn't have had this opportunity to be able to be the new starting running back for the fucking Falcons.
Right.
So that's going to be pretty interesting moving forward. I mean, my running back group is dominant. I love it. I hope they can all stay healthy. I hope they can all perform. Just another little running back I got was Tevin Coleman. That was actually my last pick in the draft. We'll see how he hashes out. I mean, right now he's projected on the unofficial depth chart as the top running back for the Jets. He was the only projected starter left at that point for running backs. So I just took him to see how it could work out. But we'll see how there's still a lot of good people left. Could end up picking somebody up.
I mean, the two bench players that really stand out to me is Michael Thomas and Gesicki.
Yep.
And honestly, Mooney.
Mooney too, yeah. So
I think Mooney has a lot of potential going into this year.
Yeah, so all right, so yeah, we covered the starters. So basically, I got Michael Thomas as my third receiver. Or no, my fourth, because I got Chark as my third.
Yep.
So I got DJ Chark as my third receiver. He just came off a kind of a shaky year. He had about 700 yards, I think 6 touchdowns.
I think he just came off a hairline.
He came off a hairline fracture in his it was either his left or right pointer finger. I forgot which one. And he just had surgery for it. It's minor. He's coming back. He's been doing some sideline work. He should be ready for week 1. The only thing that's a little concerning is I don't remember if it's his dominant hand. That could affect him catching a ball. Like if footballs are pretty fucking big. Like NFL official footballs, they're pretty big. So trying to catch that ball when you just recently went through a finger fracture, it might be a little tough at the beginning. It might be tough to adjust to. So I honestly think DJ Chark still has the skill to do something big next year. I think he could break 1,000 next year or be close to it. Even if they did add Marvin Jones, I just think he's more prepared. He's got a better quarterback this year, in my opinion. Like Trevor Lawrence, I think, will look at him a lot. Oh, yeah, and I got Trevor Lawrence.
Wow. I just now realized that, too. That's so funny. So if they're ever popping off together, you can definitely start them.
I got my duo right there. I'm not fucking put Lawrence and Chark in. Just wait until they fit. I could put them in fucking week 1. They both face Houston, but shit, I don't know if I want to do that.
Fuck it. Nah, I like the matchup. So honestly, we can get into the matchups for week 1 here if you really want to. I think you really covered the team.
I just wanted to mention one more player real quick. Actually, just 2 more. I just wanted to talk about Thomas and Mooney a little bit. So Thomas is on the PUP list right now, physically unable to perform. He did just have surgery in June for his ankle. Was it his ankle? Let's click on it real quick. It'll tell us.
Pretty sure it was his foot.
But they're basically saying that he's rehabbing from his surgery pretty quickly.
Ankle.
Oh, yeah, ankle. So he is ahead of schedule in his rehab from his June surgery. So he could be back quicker than we anticipated. He's been in a lot of trade rumors, but either way, even if he doesn't get traded, he's still going to probably be the top guy on the Saints. For the very few games he was in last year, he had double digits for most of them except like 1.
Yo, we need to go back to that because we've wanted Michael Thomas to go to the Ravens. If you can read this report, it says, analysis at the bottom. Thomas attended the Saints preseason opener Saturday in Baltimore, the first time reporters had seen him since the team at the June minicamp. So I want to see if there was any talk between Lamar and Michael Thomas after the game or some type of shit like that.
Michael Thomas goes to the Ravens, that's gonna be his clear-cut wide receiver 1.
No doubt.
No fucking doubt. I don't even care with the amount of young receivers and Sammy Watkins being on the Ravens. I would be so happy if he went to the Ravens.
I mean, you get a little time for them to build up too.
Yeah.
He'll be out for. Right now, it's minimum. I'm thinking,
team.
7 weeks.
Bro, any team he goes to, he's going to be targeted. They could be shorter now because they're saying he's ahead of schedule. So maybe it could be week 5 or something.
You never know.
I don't want them to rush it, though, because I just took this man. I don't care sitting him a few weeks until he's healthy and then being able to use him.
He's going to be nasty, man.
Like, I mean, I just got Michael Thomas with my 4th receiver.
You look at this
wide receiver 1.
You look at this draft 2 years ago. You have Diggs, you got Michael Thomas, and then you got a second-year Ridley looking ridiculous.
Yeah. Like, bro, Michael Thomas any other year is a wide receiver 1 on any other fantasy roster.
Yeah.
So I just got him as my wide receiver 4. I'm going to let him sit for a little bit and then wait till he pops back up in the season. I remember when my boss 2 years ago when Kareem Hunt had his 8-week suspension because of his little incident in the hotel with the lady and everything and the hitting her and all that, got caught on camera. So
I don't know how he came back and
I know, this
Ray Rice couldn't.
League is fucking crazy. So anyways, Kareem Hunt it seems like the only team that would give him a second chance was the Browns. And luckily they did, because then they had a stacked backfield of Chubb and Hunt. And then, Kareem Hunt was just sitting on my boss's bench at the time. It was just sitting on my boss's bench for the longest time. And he basically was saying, like, even when I was working at the car wash, he was like, oh, Kareem Hunt going to come back, man. I'm going to win the championship, man. I got this dude coming. Like, y'all ain't ready. Like, I got these dudes performing, that dude performing, So I have a solid team, and then I'm going to have this man who comes halfway through the season, and he could change everything,
No doubt.
So I love
If you were ever lacking at the end of the season, like, I doubt it's going to happen, but he could definitely be that pickup piece to help you win the chip at the end of the year.
Gotcha. So, I mean, I love Michael Thomas going forward. And my last receiver that I was able to snag up was Darnell Mooney. So this was a sleeper for both me and LJ. He's a really solid receiver.
Oh, and he gets to play Ramsey week 1.
He gets to play Ramsey week 1.
He made his ass look silly last time you played him.
So if you guys don't know who Darnell Mooney is, he's basically – there's been memes of Darnell Mooney saying #free Mooney because he's a player who tends to get open a lot but doesn't get passed to.
Yeah.
So he's looking to become as you can see on this report right here, he's continuing to shine as of August 5th. So this was about 2 weeks ago, but he's not really a player who necessarily gets a bunch of updates since he's a little bit of some people, a lower end player. But he's been shining during the offseason. The report before that, he's looking more polished and explosive throughout OTAs and June minicamp. And then he's just continuing to shine. He caught a pair of deep passes in one of his practices. He's looking to become a more consistent downfield target. And they did just add Justin Fields. They have a good group of quarterbacks over there, and they have good vets to learn for Justin Fields to learn from. So I think Darnell Mooney's in good hands. He's going to be the clear-cut wide receiver 2 next to Allen Robinson.
Yep, especially after trading Anthony Miller to the Texans.
Yep, so I'm comfortable with taking Mooney as my 5th receiver and basically my sleeper pick of my draft. Because you look at a lot of my other guys, they're clear-cut ones in their positions. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, everybody, bro. Yeah. Like,
and that's what I always aim towards. Yeah, I mean, besides
But
Coleman,
it doesn't matter. He was your last pick.
Coleman's kind of my disposable guy right now. I'm seeing how he'll work out. So, yeah, Tevin, if you guys don't know who Tevin Coleman is real quick, he started his career on the Falcons, showed a lot of promise behind Devontae Freeman, then signed with the 49ers, and he had like 3 to 4 really good games that season. Had like a 4-touchdown game. Remember that? He had like 3 rushing touchdowns and a receiving touchdown.
Yeah.
And it was like all in like the first half or some shit.
Yeah.
Like the third quarter. Yeah, I started him that game and he fucking showed out. But yeah, we'll see how he works out. He's now on the Jets and they're saying he could be the starter. So he's got some rookies. He got a rookie behind him, P. Ryan. So we'll see what happens. Oh, what?
Carter.
Oh, Carter. Yeah, my bad. Shit. I got another guy named P. Ryan, too. Yeah, there's just so many running backs around the league now. But, yeah, that's basically covering my team. And then Jasicki is my tight end, too, just in case anything happens with Hawkinson. I got Jasicki to lean on. He's looking pretty explosive this year.
I think we need to watch some highlights after this on Carter because I don't think Coleman can really dominate. And I feel like especially in my league, I think it's a 21 round draft. He's that type of player is gonna go. Like Coleman's gonna go, and then you want to get into the free agents here and the players that are available.
Oh yeah, sure. Where's it at?
Right there, players next to Game Center.
Oh yeah.
So like, this is what we've been talking about. There's still players available after.
Lots of players.
So this is all the players that are available.
So we'll just do it by position real quick, just to show you a few. So like, say Tevin Coleman doesn't necessarily work out for me, and I want another running back. So these are still.
Oh my
Kenyon
gosh,
Drake?
Kenyon Drake is
What?
there?
Okay, that just shocked both of us. All right.
Nah,
so,
he got drafted. Go to your league. He must have been dropped.
Who?
Kenyon Drake. There's no way he didn't get
I
drafted.
don't know how to. I've never used it on here.
I think you go to league to see if anything's happened already. Or honestly, I think it's transactions.
Yeah, definitely not.
My fault. Transactions.
Oh, transactions. Yes. This is the
Waivers. Look, he dropped him. I told you. It was that Florida Mullets guy that was fucking trash who took Tom Brady. He dropped Kenyon Drake, bro. That's insane.
What is that guy thinking, man?
Dude, you need to pick up Kenyon Drake for Tevin Coleman.
Yeah.
I'm glad we saw that.
So yeah, I'm gonna make that waiver claim once we get off of here.
You can make it right now.
Yeah, I'll just do it once. I don't want to do it in the middle of the show. I want to keep going. So yeah, we'll just get back to. We can talk. Oh yeah, we'll get back to those players real quick. My bad. So yeah, we'll talk about some of the players that are left. So yeah, for example, I'm probably gonna try to get fucking Kenyon Drake now, definitely. But
Jared Goff, Kirk Cousins, Derek Carr. See, like there's still quarterbacks there. In my league, it's a 2-quarterback starting league, so there's gonna be no quarterbacks like that.
Come on now. Here we go. So some of the running backs that are solid that are left. You still got Todd Gurley, who's not even signed yet. You know, depending on where he goes, he could be a quick pickup for anybody.
Nyheim Hines was solid last year.
Yeah, he's gonna. And Nyheim Hines, he's a receiving back too. He's somebody who can, in some way, do it all as well. Like he's not necessarily the best at what he does, but he can.
He had over 1,100 total yards last year if you count his return yards, his receiving and rushing yards,
which is very good, very solid.
He had more than that. I'm just being generous with the 11. He's like almost 13, 14.
Mm-hmm.
7 touchdowns.
So I like Hines, and then you see Kenyon Drake had 955 rushing yards last year. Almost breaking 1,000. He's behind Josh Jacobs now.
I can't believe he dropped him.
I can't believe that he went to the Raiders, honestly.
I can't believe he went to the Raiders, but I can't believe this man just dropped him.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know what he's trying to do. I don't know who he's trying to get. He's probably trying to fucking.
We got to see who we picked up.
He's probably trying to get Giovanni Bernard. Fucking Tampa fan. Man. Nah, this guy really was like just taking nothing but Tampa players.
He was just harping on the Tampa players for real, man.
Yeah, it was pretty ridiculous. Like he took Tom Brady, Mike Evans, took their defense 4th round. Like
he took Mike Evans in the 2nd round. Like that shit was surprising.
So, yeah, I mean that's just it for some of the run. Oh wow, Jeff McKinnon's on the Chiefs now. Didn't know that.
Jeff Wilson on the PUP, Wayne Gallman, Jamal
that.
Williams.
Yeah, Jamal Williams is another player I was looking at. That could be an option to pick up. So even at wide receiver, that's one of the spots that there's still a lot of players. So you got Cole Beasley, Corey Davis. Corey Davis is supposedly going to be the wide receiver 1.
Wow, I can't believe he's still there.
Yeah, so I mean that's another player that I could pick up, but necessarily I don't know yet. Like, see how shit works out because I don't even need wide receivers right now.
Mike Williams.
Still got Devontae Parker,
Mecole Hardman,
yeah, Cordarrelle Patterson.
I can't believe all these players.
Then even Mike, you said Mike Williams. Yeah.
Then Jacoby Myers too.
Yeah, Jacoby Myers. We're talking about that. Darius Slayton's still here.
He led in receiving yards and I think receptions last year for the Patriots. Jacoby Myers.
Yeah, so I'll talk about real quick. I can talk about some. I probably won't do a fantasy draft tonight. do that. We can do that next one. The 12-team probably.
Fuck that. You know what we're gonna do?
What?
I think we're gonna do my draft live. So I think it's on.
Oh yeah,
Saturday at 8.
Yeah, actually,
I think it's later than that.
Try to confirm what day your draft's on, because we might be able to do LJ's draft. Because originally I wanted to do my draft on the live and just do it with you guys, and so you guys can watch us just basically see how we draft. But
if we definitely,
I got the times mixed up. It was before the podcast. I thought it would be during.
Yeah, if it's on the Saturday that I'm thinking of, and we do it live, I'm definitely gonna be shitting bricks for sure. I mean, also, that draft you're definitely gonna see a true draft where people really know what they're doing, and it's 12-team, and it's gonna be even harder than a 10. It's really gonna be. It's really hard for me because I don't even have my keepers down right now. I just put 2 keepers in just for people to think that those are my 2 keepers.
I'm gonna show you guys some of these other rosters that are in this league. So this is my league commissioner, Lil House. That's his team name. His name is Troy. He's a Steelers fan. So for a Steelers fan, he doesn't have a single Steelers player on his team. And I actually don't have a single Giants player on my team, so it's all right. So anyways.
Could have had Galladay.
But, we're good. We're straight.
My fault.
We'll live.
I wanted Michael Thomas.
Yeah. But I mean, who's gonna be more of a presence at the end of the day?
Who knows, man? Who knows if Galladay's even in for 16 games?
That's what I'm saying, man. Hamstring every fucking day.
Groin, hamstring, foot, hamstring, groin.
So the thing that I've noticed every single year about my league commissioner, he is heavy on the wide receivers.
Dude, I love his team.
Oh yeah, his team's nasty. I'm not taking anything from it, but he is just so heavy on the fucking wide receivers.
I really like Edmonds as a sleeper on his team.
I do too, honestly. And my boy Connor got James Conner, so we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, he's fucked up.
Yeah, and he's actually the most projected for week 1, most points out of anybody in the league.
It's not gonna happen.
So my league commissioner, he was able to snag Josh Allen, which was low-key initially who I wanted to get. But I was glad that he took him because I would now rather have Kyler in a way, in a sense, just because of I like Kyler's skill set. But I think Josh Allen's a fucking beast.
Allen could win MVP, man. I don't know why there's not enough hype around that.
That's what I'm saying.
Where's the hype for the Bills, man? Are you seeing it? Because I don't see it. Where's the hype for the Bills, man?
I mean, they just went 13-3, bro.
Bills
People know about the Bills.
They went to the fucking AFC Championship.
They know about the Chiefs, bro.
Come on now.
So Josh Allen, he's gonna have Stephon Diggs. He's gonna have some solid targets. He got Alvin Kamara, Chase Edmonds. I'm sure you guys probably know who Alvin Kamara is. He's like a jack of all trades at running back. But the thing is, he actually perfects his jack of all trades. Yeah. I think he's fucking crazy. He's amazing. He can do everything. I was thinking about actually taking him over Henry, but I just it wouldn't sit with me well. I fucking love Derrick Henry, bro.
You had to take him. In my opinion, I probably would have taken Kamara because you made an amazing point. There is no receiver there, and Michael Thomas is going to get traded. So Deontay Harris and Callaway are going to be the receivers there. And I want Harris.
Yeah.
Especially in my deep draft league. I'm definitely taking Harris at some point. Probably like my last pick, hopefully, if he's there.
You got to be careful with those sleepers, though. Because, sometimes it gets a little shaky in your league. And then last year you gave up James Robinson by accident.
Dude, so I know, man. I can't believe I fucking did that.
It's more
found
him
in your
out
league before
too.
Anybody. And I did this a year before, and I forget who I did it with. But I saw that James Robinson was going to be a breakout player, and he was an undrafted. And I looked up his highlights, and I was like, wow, this guy's going to be really good. I picked him up. I forget who the fuck was in front of him. Some bum-ass dude. I think it was – I forget it was Armstead. Roquan Armstead was supposed to be the starter for the Jaguars.
So that's why you dropped him, right?
Because they said that. And then I was like, yo, screw this.
Fuck that.
And I shouldn't have fucking done that.
Well, yeah, but it's hard to tell. You got 2 no-name running backs on a fucking shit team come out of nowhere, and then you're being told, oh, this no-name guy is going to start over this no-name guy. So it's like, what the hell are you going to do? You know what I mean?
Bro, I should have known. And I'll never do that shit again.
James Robinson really did make a damn name for himself.
And I think he's being slept on. I'm seeing ETN taking over him, and I don't think that's right. I think Robinson's definitely still going to be the power running back there, getting most of the touchdowns. But if you're playing in a PPR league, I kind of understand. Those receiving receptions are going to go to ETN. You're going to get those double-digit games like you're wanting. But when it comes to scoring, it's definitely going to be Robinson.
For sure. For sure. So I'm just gonna go through some of these rosters real quick because I wanna get to at least cover some of these, like cover most of them, or just show you guys all like a little taste of what some of my competition is gonna look like this year.
This is like one of the better competition players right here. You're gonna see some guys.
I love facing him. It's always competitive because he talks shit too. He talks shit to
Everybody talks shit in my league. You can look at my league right now.
Like he'll type. He'll be like, "How you feeling, Polo? Oh, you getting nervous, Polo?" Like when the score gets close and it comes down to like either a kicker or like a fucking wide receiver or defense, whatever, bro. Like he'd be like, "Nah, like, it's funny."
No, that's just funny.
I love it, bro. I love it.
Like to mention that there's like I showed you, there's 2 people in my league that got my name in there.
Yeah.
So, like they really like
Landon's last hope to win a ring or whatever the hell.
There's some haters,
So yeah, he's got his top 3 guys, or top 3, Josh Allen, Kamara, and Edmonds, and then his receivers is really what's ridiculous, as I was telling you guys. So he's got Adam Thielen, Devontae Adams, Tyler Lockett, Robbie Anderson, Brandon Cooks, T. Higgins, T.Y. Hilton, and Sterling Shepard. He's got like 7 wide receivers. It's ridiculous. I've never seen that many wide receivers on one team. I mean, I think this is actually the most he's ever. I think he always does this. He always takes multiple receivers and then he trades them. He always he trades a lot.
Yeah.
Like he tries to get new people. Like his receivers are ridiculous. Even his tight ends, bro. Like he's got Mark Andrews and Logan Thomas.
Those are 2 great and solid.
Great tight
top
ends.
10.
Yeah, like they're 2 solid tight ends, bro. Like for real. And you got a bench quarterback in Ryan Tannehill who just came off of arguably a career year. And he was a top 10 fantasy quarterback. He's already got Josh Allen, who was, I think, top 5 or top 3. I don't remember exactly what his rank was, though, because, depending on the league, it's different, too.
I think he was number 1 in my league.
Damn, really?
Yeah.
So he's got a bunch of wide receiver ones, and then, you got guys like Robbie Anderson, who's going to be reunited with his old starting quarterback from the Jets. And they faced the Jets week 1.
Ooh.
What the fuck?
Ooh,
DraftKings. Robbie Anderson. All right, so I can't even wait to get into DraftKings. We're going to give you guys a lot of advice on that shit. Actually, shit.
We don't know anything.
Yeah,
we don't know how to
Anyways,
do anything.
Yeah, we'll talk about that another time. that gets money involved, so we don't want to get anybody a gambling addiction.
He had to have taken a kicker like 9th round or some shit, because he had Jason Sanders. If you scroll down a little bit, the people that can see it.
Yeah, he took a kicker. Everybody drafted a fucking kicker. Honestly, I didn't want to draft a kicker. I didn't plan on it either.
I can't believe that shit, bro. 8th round when your team's not fully filled out. Like you're taking a fucking kicker? Are you kidding me?
This is a thing though, and this is why I feel like he's gonna offer me, because this man has 2 running backs on his whole team.
You gotta try to get Adams from him, bro.
He's not gonna get me Adams. That's the last person he's gonna give me, bro. I'm not gonna be able to get Adams. Who am I gonna give? He's gonna want Ridley or Diggs.
All right, so. All right. Hold on.
Here we go, bro.
Here we go.
Mike Davis.
No. If you're gonna trade
DeAndre
one of
Swift.
them. No, what if you traded Ridley for Chase Edmonds and Tyler Lockett?
What? Nah. All right, we're done. We're not gonna talk about trades right now. We just fucking drafted it. Let's just keep going on with the teams before I start getting stressed out about trades. So, anyways, moving on to my old boss, CC PatriCanes is his team name. PatriCanes because he's a Patriots and Hurricanes fan. So he just merged Patriots and Hurricanes into PatriCanes, which I think is pretty dope. I'm a Hurricanes fan myself, but I can't really do Giants or Giants. I don't even fucking know. So he stole my fucking quarterback. He stole Aaron Rodgers from me. I've had Aaron Rodgers every year. I wanted him again.
Ooh, Giant Hurricane.
Yeah, fuck that. What? Giant Charger. So yeah. anyways, Aaron Rodgers is his quarterback, and I was really when he got him, I was like, damn man, like my old boss is just that one player. His name's Javon. I'll just call him Javon. So I mean Javon, like he's one of those guys who just he takes a lot of sleeper picks, but sometimes it's a little too sleeperish.
He takes them way too early.
He took Chase Claypool over fucking. I think Keenan Allen was still on the board. Terry McLaurin definitely was still on the board. Like there was like 3 or 4 or 5 receivers in front of him that were all wide receiver ones.
And I feel like he could have got one of them and then Claypool the next.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he took Claypool mad early, and it just makes it easier for some people to just take other players that they weren't. But then again,
Miles Sanders.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, exactly. So he got Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Jones, which is fucking awesome. Got the Aaron Bros in Green Bay. They're putting on, they always put on. You got Myles Gaskin as his second running back. So he's putting a lot of faith in that Miami boy. Especially he's facing New England week 1, which is his team. So we'll see how that rolls. He drafted Antonio Brown, which I think was a sleeper pick. He's got AB and Tyreek Hill as starting receivers. And if AB can be anything what he used to be, that's going to be solid.
I just don't think it'll be enough. I don't think he should play AB.
He's got Jared Cook as a starting tight end.
Yeah, Judy and Waddle are pretty nice to have.
He took Jared Cook and Zach Ertz as his tight ends.
That's ridiculous.
I'm not a huge fan of his running backs, honestly. I mean, he's got like Aaron Jones and Gaskin, solid, I guess, but Gaskin's not fully proven yet. And then he's got Gordon and Singletary. Like that's not really too solid to me.
Nah, it's really not.
I feel like people are going to be hitting me up for running backs.
You're gonna have to deny him, bro.
I can't. I gotta stay true to my running backs.
You really gotta stay true to your whole team, and that's what I did. That's what I really fucked up on last year.
Yeah,
I traded way too much. I traded way too fucking much, and I ended up losing because I had Hopkins and Diggs on my team. And I ended up trading Hopkins away for Michael Thomas and Devin Singletary, who ended up doing nothing. So it seemed like it was going to pan out, but it really didn't. So
got you. So
Waddle could be a nice pick.
Waddle, yeah. I see that he took Jalen Waddle. I think he's got some faith in these Miami guys.
Yeah.
Is what it seems like. Taking Myles Gaskin and Jalen Waddle, but also took Baker Mayfield on the bench. He's got Jerry Jeudy, which I was actually looking at myself. I love Jerry Jeudy, man. He's a great route runner going into his second year, so he's got a lot of promise. So we're gonna move on to this Florida Mullets guy real quick. Start moving through some of these teams.
Oh my gosh, man.
So this was the most controversial guy who drafted. He's a Buccaneers fan, as you guys can see the logo, and he took Brady with his first round pick, 5th overall. Then it's just a shaky team. So like you got Brady, he got Edwards-Helaire, which was a good pickup. James Robinson, that's solid. He's got
Evans in the fucking second, man.
Yeah, he took Evans in the second. I think it might have been 3rd. I think he took Edwards-Helaire in the 2nd. I don't know, but we can definitely look back at it. I don't want to go through all that right now. But he was able to get Brandon Ayuk as well. That's pretty solid. But I just feel like he was reaching on a lot of players. Like he drafted David Njoku and OJ Howard as his tight ends. Neither of them are first string tight ends. Neither of them. So then Jarvis Landry as well, Henry Ruggs and Emmanuel Sanders. Like he's got no true wide receiver one. He's got no true anything one besides like Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Tom Brady.
Dude's been living under a rock. I don't know where the fuck you've been at. I don't know who OJ Howard is anymore.
Not discriminating or nothing, man, because I can't wait for this league. I think this is just a little shit talk on my end, whatever. But it's just a very it's a very controversial team. So he's got a lot of Buccaneers players, and then he's got some Browns players and some San Fran players. He got Raheem Mostert. Yeah, it just seems like he's very locked in on what he likes. And he got Jameis Winston, a former Bucs quarterback.
Yep.
As his second string quarterback. So it's like, all right, dude. And he actually had Jameis Winston his last year on the Buccaneers.
Yep.
So basically a wrap up on his team. There's not too much to talk about with his team. I mean,
His team sucks. His team's fucking trash. The
I
only
just-
player I
I
like
don't
is
see it.
Clyde and James.
I don't see his team succeeding.
Did you write something?
And let's see. We'll move on to my guy, Feed Me More. So this guy is actually a former running back in the NFL. He was actually, I think he was on the Bills for 1 year. He wasn't a bit. I don't remember his full name. My boss was just telling me back in the day how he's like a family. He's a family friend that's always been around, and he played college ball. He's a pretty big dude, but the reason he couldn't stay in the league was because he had issues being too big, I guess.
Like
So-
an Eddie Lacy problem.
Yeah, so and it's funny because his team name is Feed Me More. He was, I think, last place last year, but it looks like he's looking for redemption with this team. He got Dak Prescott. I love his running backs, actually, now that I look at them. He got Dak Prescott. He got Dalvin Cook, Najee Harris,
Wow.
and Joe Mixon.
What
And
a
then
team.
He's got Michael Carter on the Jets. That's the rookie running back, so he's going to be looking promising. He's got A.J. Dillon as well on the bench, who's going to be the second string running back behind Aaron Jones this year. I'm really looking forward to watching A.J. Dillon. So, let's see. I mean, I like his receivers a lot too, man. Like A.J. Brown and Terry McLaurin, two really young and upcoming receivers. They both each have another complimentary wide receiver next to them. I mean, I can't really see who's the wide receiver one on the Titans now with Julio being there. It's hard to tell. But like in Terry McLaurin's case, he's got Curtis Samuel, a very complimentary wide receiver too.
Yep.
Both played in college together, and now they're living out their dream of playing in the NFL together. This is something they've supposedly always talked about. Kyle Pitts being an amazing young tight end. He's probably going to be the fastest tight end coming up this year. I think he could be the fastest tight end in the NFL. He already is on Madden. So I'm looking forward to watching him too. I mean, yeah, a lot of these guys.
At least one suck, bro.
Michael Pittman.
I'm done.
I don't really like Michael Pittman, honestly. I'm not too sold on him.
I'm done with this shit.
But Cortland Sutton, Devontae Smith, his receivers are a little shaky past McLaurin and AJ Brown when it comes to what can they really produce. And Cortland Sutton coming back from a torn ACL. So, and then who was his second quarterback? Trey Lance. Yeah, that was his second quarterback. So he's got Trey Lance behind Dak Prescott. So hopefully Trey Lance starts to become a starter sooner than later so that he can actually implement him. Team Jotty. So this is my boy that lives in Massachusetts now. Worked with me at the car wash for a little bit. He had the first overall pick, and he took Christian McCaffrey. He took Ronald Jones very early, too. I think in like the 4th round or 5th round, he took Ronald Jones.
Yeah, he did. I remember that.
Yeah, so
He took him over like Swift. Took him over Miles Sanders. Took him over running backs like
he
that.
took Damian Harris very controversially too. But he's a Patriots fan, so I could see why he has that belief in Damian Harris after watching preseason, probably.
Right.
So Lamar Jackson, he was able to scoop up Lamar in an early round. I love his receivers. You know, he's got Amari Cooper and DK Metcalf, and then on the bench he's even got he took Aguilar. So he's got Nelson Aguilar, Marvin Jones, and Deebo Samuel. So never mind, I don't like his receivers that much. They're decent. But his tight ends, he took who else did he take? He took Jonnu Smith. Yes, he took Jonnu Smith and Robert Tonyan.
He took Jonnu Smith over Gesicki. He took him over. I don't know who else was there. He took him over Komet, I think. That was just a terrible pick.
Yeah, and I had Jonnu Smith last year. I ended out the year with him.
I think he's good, but when you have another top tier, top 12 tight end who's Hunter Henry next to him, I don't think that's good to have.
Facts. He's got Big Ben off the bench as well. He picked up Tariq Cohen. I don't know why the hell he would pick up Tariq Cohen.
Yo, what? Oh my gosh.
Tariq Cohen has no timetable for return right now, so it's kind of nerve-wracking to see if he can produce, and he doesn't really have any other. His only solid running back is McCaffrey, Besides that, he's got Ronald Jones, who's going to be sharing first team snaps with Leonard Fournette. So it's not too sure if they can either of them, like when they'll be producing. You know what I'm saying?
Just like last year.
Then Tariq Cohen, who's got no timetable for return. Darrell Henderson, who's going to be finally coming up with that starter role because Cam Akers tore his Achilles, which is so sad. And then, I mean, yeah, besides that, he's got no other running back, so he's got to be careful with that. I am a huge fan of him getting Lamar. I've always loved Lamar, but he's going to see what he can do with this receiving core this year. So,
yeah, for real. He's going to need to make a trade or something. I don't think that's going to be enough.
What you got? Move to we got about 3 or 4 more teams. So, Los Gunslingers. This is my week 1 matchup.
I really like this team.
I like this team too. So, he's got Matthew Stafford at his starting quarterback position, just now being acquired by the LA Rams.
I think he's a sleeper for top 10.
He's going to have a really good receiving core around him. And it should be interesting to see what they can do with that. And he's got Robert Woods, who's going to be a really good screen player and a tall player who's also got some decent speed. 6 foot, pretty fast. And he can and he's actually decently agile too.
Yeah.
And Austin Eckler and Saquon. So that's 2 projected top 10 quarterbacks.
Running backs,
sorry. So they're going to be, I think they'll be showing out. I mean, Barkley was really somebody who I was looking at myself being a Giants fan. It was hard to look past him, but sometimes you just got to do what's best for the team rather than take a certain risk.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard to see what I don't know. I mean, I really hope Barkley can stay healthy because when he's healthy, he's a beast.
Dude, I think when Barkley's healthy, he's definitely like a top 2.
Yeah.
Like you put him and McCaffrey. I don't think there's any other arguments of maybe Zeke. I mean, Cook does his shit. I'm not disrespecting him at all, but Saquon is so fucking physical at the same time where he can leap, he can catch, he can block. Dude, he is the full package.
It's like he can do what Kamara does, but he's like fucking bigger.
Yes, literally.
And can take more contact.
Literally.
Which like kind of makes him like a power elusive back.
Dude, he's something special, man.
So the rest of his starting lineup, he's got Allen Robinson, who I think is going to have an amazing year. I wish he had a more solid quarterback, but I just want Justin Fields to come in already and take over, honestly. CeeDee Lamb, talking about.
I think he's gonna be
1.
I think he's gonna beat Amari Cooper in fantasy points at least.
I think it's definitely possible. George Kittle and J.K. Dobbins. So George Kittle is usually the top receiver for the Niners, so that was a good pickup for him.
Dobbins was a great pick. I think you're sleeping on Dobbins a little bit.
Yeah. Not really that I'm sleeping on Dobbins, but there's just other people that I would rather have who I know will be who I personally think will put up better numbers than Dobbins. But
so you could have had Montgomery, Dobbins, Herbert.
I didn't really know about Herbert, honestly.
He went I think he went in like the 6th round. I think he went before Miles Sanders.
Yeah. Let's see. Travis Etienne, that's another running back. He's going to be a rookie. He's supposed to either co-start or start behind James Robinson. We'll see what happens.
I don't know what's going on over there, man. It's really annoying.
I wish they didn't take a running back. I mean, James Robinson's kind of doing his thing. But it is what it is.
You mean Singletary?
Mm-hmm.
Zach Moss.
I said I don't.
Said James Robinson.
I'm getting them all confused now. Travis Etienne. I wish that Jacksonville didn't take Travis Etienne because James Robinson is doing his thing.
Yeah.
So Zach Moss being another running back who's going to have to possibly share snaps with Devin Singletary. And Tony Pollard, another secondary running back that he's got. Like, he's got a lot of secondary running backs on his team. And then Kenny Golladay, Curtis Samuel, both receivers with some question marks around them regarding injuries. Curtis Samuel dealing with a minor groin injury, and then Kenny Golladay dealing with some hamstring issues as usual. So,
what if you made a trade with him for Golladay? Nah, never mind. Never mind.
Yeah, we'll look at trades soon.
Honestly, don't think you should trade
I don't
because
think
this is what I'm doing. I'm already looking for a trade, and I'm not even drafting yet. So like,
yeah,
it's not good to do that. I'm telling you, it's not worth it.
So we'll move on to prime time.
This
San
team's nice.
Francisco fan. So he's got a nice ass team. It seems like what I've seen. So okay. So he's got Patrick Mahomes at quarterback, David Johnson at running back, along with David Montgomery.
And his two standout receivers, Hopkins and Justin Jefferson.
Fuck yeah.
And then he got Juju at his flex. So that's pretty solid.
That is solid, yeah. Hopefully Juju can produce in a way that he should be.
Kareem
and
Hunt.
Gronk being his starting tight end is a little concerning, but he also has Jimmy Graham and Hunter Henry.
He's the one who had Godwin.
Took 3 tight ends. That's crazy.
Wow.
So, yeah, having Matt Ryan as well. So he's got Matt Ryan as well as his backup quarterback. That's pretty impressive to see. I mean, I think I was even thinking about taking him as my backup quarterback because I think he's just such a solid veteran and he's going to have nice weapons this year to be able to pass to and everything.
I remember you said that on a pod before. It was like a couple of weeks ago, but I remember you saying Matt Ryan, don't sleep on him. You know, he's still a solid quarterback with Ridley and now Pitts possibly being that wide receiver 2/tight end.
Yeah, I like Matt Ryan, man. I think he's going to be able to do something.
I mean, he won an MVP.
For sure. He did. You are right. Led him to a Super Bowl not too long ago.
I just can't believe that shit. I hope we'll talk about that shit with Coin on that one episode.
Oh, yeah. So, Gus Edwards being the backup for J.K. Dobbins, more the power back on that Baltimore team. So, that'll be interesting to see how his running backs pan out because he's got – it seems like the only person that's really a solid running back one on his team is David Montgomery. Even having Kareem Hunt as well, I mean, he's still that's the only running back one he has.
No doubt.
David Johnson, there's no promising.
There's a whole bunch of competition there, no doubt.
So Marquise Brown, too. That's a question mark around him with all the injuries they've had going on.
You know, even J.K. Dobbins having some injury history. I hope he can play through. So he obviously thinks Gus could be a good backup piece to have.
Yeah.
And maybe even start, you know.
I like that he was at least able to get Kareem Hunt because you can even though he's not the main starter, I feel like they're just co-starters.
Yeah. Ew, he got Russell Wilson and Chris Carson.
Yeah, so
why are you gonna do it on the same team?
This is my boy Connor. So
that's Connor.
Yeah, this is Connor's team.
Gosh.
So this is one of my boys, Connor, and he's a Washington fan. He picked up Russell Wilson and Chris Carson, both from the Seahawks. And
you just can't do that, man.
I think his 2 first picks were automated. Like he didn't pick Wilson or
Kelsey.
No, he picked Wilson.
Kelsey.
He didn't pick Kelsey or who the hell else? Who else was it? Chubb, yeah. He didn't pick Chubb or Kelsey, but those were two pretty good automated picks. So he's got Russell Wilson and Chris Carson and Nick Chubb. Those are his top 3 guys at the top of the starting lineup, and then his starting wide receivers, Julio Jones and Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp has always been a solid option. He's built like a slot receiver to me, but he's kind of somebody who can do a little bit of everything. He's not insanely fast, but he's got some speed on him.
The combination of Kupp and Woods is nice.
He reminds me of Edelman a little bit.
Yeah, I think he reminds me of Thielen a little bit, and honestly, Jordy Nelson.
Gotcha. Okay, that's a nice comparison. And Julio's pretty self-explanatory. He's a legend at this point. I think he's gonna go down in the Hall of Fame for sure.
No doubt. If he does it, it's bullshit.
And then Travis Kelce, he's been the best receiver in fantasy or best tight end in fantasy for like the past 3 years, I think, or something like that.
Telling everybody to take him in the first round. He's the best receiver off the board. Nah. Do not take Kelce in the first round.
I like
you
that
are
he was
fucking up.
He was able to get OBJ. I like that. As his third receiver, that's pretty solid. Hopefully Odell can get back to health and start performing like he usually does. And his bench, we'll get on to his bench. So,
on paper, his team is really nice.
Yeah, I like his bench though too. It's got some solid pieces, but then again, no sure starters besides like Jalen Hurts. So Jalen Hurts, they're saying He'll most likely start. Oh well, yeah, Boyd, but not like wide receiver or running back ones. I mean, Josh Jacobs is technically the running back one, but with Kenyon Drake taking some of the snaps from him, we'll see what happens with that. They're saying Chase Edmonds could start over James Conner, but I think that's just going to be a running back battle. Leonard Fournette paired up with Ronald Jones already, so we'll see where that goes. And then he's got Deontay Johnson. I'm not a fan of getting any of these Steelers receivers in this draft because they're just it's really hard to tell who's going to be getting the actual fantasy workload. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you on that.
Yeah. So Evan Engram as well. Evan Engram is his secondary tight end.
Injury prone also. So,
yeah.
And then the man that spits on his hands and then wonders why he drops the ball.
Yep. So let's see. We'll go through that. One more team, the Gladiators. So this is the Lions fan that we got in our. I believe he's a Lions fan.
Keep going. Damn.
He's got
his team's nasty. Those are the top three. You're the league manager. What was the other team? This guy, and then I think it was 2 guys ago. I forget his name. I forget what team that was, but those are the top 3. This guy's team is nasty. So the league manager, the team you're playing, and then this team.
Yeah. So this guy has Justin Herbert. He's going to be going into his sophomore season in the NFL, and he's already talking about he could be the MVP.
I don't like all that hype being a Chargers fan.
Yeah, we'll see exactly what happens with that. But, it's possible with the weapons he's got around him and how he's just been showing a lot of promise and the way he can throw the damn deep ball.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So Ezekiel Elliott and Jonathan Taylor both supposed to have significant workloads this year. Jonathan Taylor being a second-year running back who's about to supposedly be a starter. And then Ezekiel Elliott as well. I mean, he's always been like a freight train, man. Like he's huge, but I just don't know if he can. It's really the matter of staying healthy,
dude. Both of those running backs, along with Antonio Gibson, oh my gosh! And then not to mention
he got solid 3 running backs.
The 2 rookies he's got with Trey Sermon and Javonte Williams, I can definitely see both of them starting, and I hate to say that because I want to take Gordon.
I think this guy drafted very smart.
He drafted so smart. Man.
Keenan Allen being his wide receiver 1 with Robert Woods. I think they're both going to be able to produce a lot. And if not, he's got a top 3 tight end to lean on with Darren Waller. We know he's going to get his targets.
He took his chance with Deshaun Watson.
Took a very big chance with Deshaun Watson because it's not even sure if Deshaun Watson's going to play this year. Not sure if he's going to be on a different team, but he's not a part of their week 1 game plan. He's 4th on the depth chart in the QBs right now because they don't plan on using him.
Yeah, Tyrod.
Trey Sermon and Javonte Williams, as LJ was saying, 2 rookie running backs who could potentially start. And I hope Melvin Gordon can do something to where he's not just going to let this fucking rookie come in and take his spot after he was being such a bitch about leaving the Chargers and signing with a division team.
Yo, for real. You're getting a little old, but it's like, yo, if you really wanted this, you haven't had your chance yet. Lindsey took half your snaps last year.
It's like, do it, bro. Like, this is your time. Show this rookie what you can do and show him that you can't just take your backfield.
He could, though. He might.
He also took another chance with Will Fuller. You know, Will Fuller's going to be suspended for a little while.
I think it's, first 5 or 4?
I think it's the first 4 games.
4?
Yeah, so he's got a suspension. Do you remember what that suspension is for?
I think it was PEDS. PED.
Yeah, performance-enhancing drugs, yeah.
Yep.
That could be considered anything. Anything they consider performance-enhancing drugs. It could be in a prescription that you don't even fucking know about. And then it's some little shit. And then they'll be like, oh, you're using PEDs, sorry. And because, like, Golden Tate had a suspension for it last year, and he didn't even know.
Yeah.
Remember, he was like, he got it. He explained it was through a prescribed medication, and he didn't even know. And, like, they wouldn't take it. Like, anybody could say that shit.
He's a free agent.
Yep. Hopefully he ends up somewhere. Golden Tate is I don't want him to be wasted talent. He's definitely still got skill.
Come to the Chargers, man. We'd love to use you. I mean, we don't really need him, but
I honestly love Jamar Chase. I like his skill set, but He's the one player. It's just a little shaky because of what they got going on over there with how many wide receivers they got. Joe Burrow coming back from a torn ACL in his rookie season, and them not even having the best O-line to begin with. So hopefully they'll be able to just still pick something up and use these weapons the way they want to. But I think it's that LSU connection, just Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase already having that prior connection in college and being able to just rejuvenate it in the NFL. And they may even both have like a fire in them just because they're on the Bengals out of all teams,
Yeah.
So they know, like, people laugh at the fucking Bengals. So I'm a huge fan of him getting DJ Moore. I love DJ Moore, man. No offense, not even a bad pick either. So I think he's got some solid tight ends, and he's got the Colts defense. Shit, pretty good. Seems like he might be partially a Colts fan too.
It's those three teams that are really going to be competitive for this. Looking at it now, I really thought you had it, but now truly looking at all these teams, bro, it's going to be a competitive year.
It is, yeah. It's going to be a crazy year, man. We'll see how it goes. I mean, as he was saying, we already had our first drop of the year. Oh, is it not going to show it? Oh, wait, that's for the – I'm tripping. There we go. So, yeah, him already literally getting dropped, which is ridiculous. Did he drop him during the draft?
No, he dropped him after.
Because, look, it shows them getting picked. Oh, he was moving. Oh, okay. Never mind. So, yeah, I can't believe that, man. Already dropped the...
Those times are off.
I think it's Pacific time that it goes by. Because, like, he even told us in the thing, like, oh, the draft is at 5:30 Pacific. Yeah, I don't know if some of the people in this draft live on the West Coast or not.
It was a very interesting draft, a very weird draft, and I'm glad that we could show some insight to the people who can watch this and view it, and to the people who are listening. I know it's a little harder to understand, but that was just really truly explaining a fantasy league.
So yeah, that's the first time that, like, as much as we've talked about fantasy so far in this show, that's the first time we've really been able to just show you guys what a full fantasy draft looks like. I can't wait to be able to show you guys LJ's and be able to just explain to you guys a little more about LJ's league, because it's more complex in his league. He's just got more people who are in competition. It's more drastic. Like, you see all the people that are still available in my league. None of those people will be available by like week 4. Week 5, maybe even the first 2 weeks. These people they have more roster spots. They have more people to put in at quarter. Like we start one quarterback in our league. We have 10 teams. They start 2 quarterbacks for 12 teams. So that's already 24 quarterbacks off the board right there. And you want to think each team wants at least one extra quarterback. So that's all the starting quarterbacks. It's tough. It gets tough. So quarterbacks is more of a priority in his league, I'd say. So
already having somebody keep Dak Prescott, Josh Allen, it's like, damn.
And as the fantasy season goes on, and even next episode, we can get a little more into some of the smaller details of my league, like maybe some of the sleepers that I see in my league, or some people that I may be targeting. Like, as we go on with our fantasy leagues throughout the year, we'll just put some small updates in the episodes and just anything that we can really cover on fantasy that's going on in our league. If anybody's ever interested in doing a fantasy league through here, we'll try to get that set up. I know we keep mentioning that, but I think what we'll have to honestly do is just make it, and then like get the slots ready and just let them know,
Yeah, we'll definitely get that running. But it's been IronLung PigSkinz.
Yep.
And
thank you for having us again. Episode. 2.5 hours, man. Thank you guys for joining us.
We're gonna have an episode on Saturday at 7:30. So
7:30 to 10.
Tune into that. Tune in to Coin Show on Sunday. Yeah. Tune in to Politishock on Thursday.
Shout out for Coin for always being so active in our comments, man. I appreciate it.
And shout out to the show we got coming soon. I don't know what's going on with that, but apparently we got a show coming.
We got some ideas flowing, so we'll see what happens. But Shout out to everyone who makes it possible, man. The VOP. Shout out to Sage for always being great. Shout out to Dan. Thank you.
Yo, we did that like the past
Shout
2
out to
weeks,
Dan.
bro. We gotta keep that on point, bro. We gotta be saying Dan.
We gotta say Dan at the same time. I feel like we know eventually, like, all right, so we're about to shout out Dan. Here we go. Shout out to Dan.
No doubt,
but,
man.
yeah, for real, man. It's definitely been a fun episode. Thank you guys for joining us again. We'll see you on Saturday at 7:30. Same place. IronLung PigSkinz out.